Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. America's top diplomat says there's no way Iran can be allowed to control the Strait of Hormuz. Secretary of State Rubio says that doing so would set a very dangerous global precedent. The U.S. putting the pedal to the metal with its Iran offensive.
The U.S. military completed an 11th night of strikes on Iran. Central Command saying the latest targets included aircraft hangars and drone storage sites. Iranian air defenses activated near the capital, Tehran, and Iran's state-run news agency reported explosions in half a dozen provinces. For those strikes in Tehran had traveled to Pakistan, a key mediator. But at the White House Tuesday, President Trump told reporters,
until they're ready to meet in a meaningful way, we have no interest.
And the conflict appears to be widening. Yemen's Houthi rebels declaring a naval blockade of Saudi Arabia, vowing to block the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and cut shipping between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. With the Strait of Hormuz blocked, Saudi Arabia has been relying on a pipeline to the Red Sea to get oil out to market. I'm Ben Thomas.
The Gulf Coast, Louisiana in particular, is bracing for Bertha, the tropical storm expected to make landfall southeast of New Orleans late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, it's cleanup across the northeast, that region pummeled by a series of strong storms. New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill blaming a computer glitch for 6,600 non-citizens finding their way onto the state's voter rolls. OpenAI says its artificial intelligence system hacked into another AI company, all on its own. OpenAI calling it an unprecedented cyber incident. Congressman Andy Biggs has captured the GOP nomination for Arizona governor, former head of the House Freedom Caucus and outspoken ally of President Trump. On Wall Street, the Dow futures down 60 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Hitler's birthplace in Austria is set to officially reopen as a police station.
Braunau is an attractive town in northern Austria on the border with Germany, but it's also the place where Hitler was born in 1889. The future Nazi leader only lived for a short time in the upstairs rooms of the pale yellow three-story building, but there's long been disagreement over its fate. For decades, the government rented it from the owner in an attempt to stop far-right tourism. It was once used as a centre for people with disabilities, but when the landlady refused renovations and government offers to buy it, the building was seized by the state.
That's the BBC's Joanna Keane. French lawmakers approved a bill banning children under 15 from using social media, making France first country in the European Union to pass a blanket ban on platforms as concern grows worldwide over the harmful effects of digital content on youngsters. News and analysis, townhall.com. Long-lost plane wreck, one of historical significance, has been located.
The wreckage from a Pan Am plane crash in the ocean 74 years ago that helped lead to requirements for the passenger safety briefings on every flight today has been found off the coast of Puerto Rico. The talks flight attendants deliver about how to inflate a life vest or find the exits on a plane that are routine today were developed after 52 people perished aboard Pan Am's Clipper Endeavour because they didn't get off the plane before it sank. Explorers used an autonomous sonar drone to find the fuselage and tail of the DC-4 last month under 2,000 feet of water. Keith Peters reporting.
Nicolas Maduro returns to a New York courtroom as his lawyers continue objections to the U.S. military operation that snatched Venezuela's dictator from power. Maduro being held in a Brooklyn jail facing drug trafficking charges. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So, what if you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The ingredients studied in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're not as hungry. But listen, Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Get started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to takelean.com and enter the code Godzilla for your discount. That's discount code Godzilla at takelean.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98. Queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Well, happy wet and wild Wednesday morning, folks. At least that's the way it is here in Richmond. You're listening to the John Fredericks Media Network. I'm Dan Hobgood. Time for a look at, among other things, weather and sports. Let's start with where I am in Richmond, Virginia. Already mentioned that, didn't I? The high temperature today will be 86 degrees with storms. The low, 68 with storms. Right now, the temperature is 75 degrees with a touch of Noah's Ark out there. I should say before we move on, the Squirrels postponed last night. Doubleheader tonight beginning at 5:35 at Carmax Park. In D.C., you're going to see a high today of 90 with possible storms, a low of 68 with spotty storms. Right now, the temperature in the nation's capital, 72 degrees. The Nats fall to the Rockies, who win 8-7 last night in Colorado. 3:10 first pitch this afternoon. Atlanta, you're looking at a high today of 89 with spotty storms, a low tonight of 74. Right now the temperature 76 in Georgia. Braves fall to the Padres 8-3 yesterday. First pitch tonight at 7:15. Nashville, you're looking at a high today of 88 with spotty storms, a low of 68 tonight, and right now the temperature in Middle Tennessee is 74 degrees. Philadelphia, high today in the city of brotherly love of 87 with possible storms, a low tonight of 65. Right now the temperature in eastern Pennsylvania is 73 degrees. Dodgers topped the Phils last night 2-1. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Morgantown, shout out to you. High today of 78 with showers. Low tonight of 55. I like the sound of that. Right now the temperature 69 degrees in by God, West Virginia. And last but not least, my Yinzers in the 412. We're looking at a high today of 74 in the Steel City. A low tonight of 54. I really like the sound of that. Right now, the temperature in the 412, 69 degrees. Buccos and Yanks postponed yesterday. Doubleheader today beginning at 1:05 in New York. Bringing you today's weather and sports update is the Godzilla Wins radio show for the best insight, analysis, and picks. Watch and listen to Godzilla Wins Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, to get John's daily sports picks, go to, you guessed it, GodzillaWins.com. Once again, that's GodzillaWins.com. And now for a few words to the wise. Yesterday, I alluded to the tendency of many, starting with those on the far left of the political spectrum, to describe another brand of authoritarianism, i.e. Nazism/fascism, as the far right. Of course, by this measure, only collectivist paradigms are possible, unless we're to believe that the middle here is supposed to be the refuge from totalitarianism. But how is that possible if the supposed middle stands between socialism, what Nazism actually is, remember, and communism? It's as if whoever cooked up this scam of a false alternative wants us to pick our poison, meaning their poison. So what's the real story? Well, if full-blown statism, collectivism, tribalism constitutes the far left, the far right would have to be its opposite. No? Suffice it to say, this is not Nazism, but rather the actual alternative to statism, collectivism, tribalism. What is that? Ding, ding, ding. Individualism. A social environment in which people are sovereigns unto themselves, and whereby no one may rule over other people. This is the near heaven on earth that, carried out to its logical end, our founders' creation begets. A quasi-utopia in which, by law, people live and let live. Consenting adults do what consenting adults do. Trespasses by individuals against others undoubtedly still happen, as a society that sanctifies freedom is one with inherent risks, but government fosters the peace via retribution against those who would breach the peace, whether intentionally or accidentally. Would that I could say that this space is what America occupies today, but we know, alas, that that's nowhere close to true. In fact, America today sits in the actual middle, in this quagmire between individualism and tribalism. And with a population under the aforementioned spell that rule of men over other men is inevitable, our nation moves ever more leftward. If the idea of America is to survive, if the potential of Western civilization is to survive, at least a sizable plurality of us needs to reverse course and, if not outright fulfill, then earnestly pursue the vision of this country's founding, confident in the goodness of remaining steadfast and unwavering to individualist principles. That leads me to tomorrow's subject, but in the meantime, this has been Dan Hobgood for the John Fredericks Media Network. Outside the Box with the Ox is next, followed by the one, the only, Godzilla of Truth, Oracle of the Deplorables, John Fredericks on The John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned, everybody.
CNN World reports this week that AI breaches will occur, and sooner not later. That all of our national defenses are at high risk, and particularly stark risks to small and medium businesses. And that, quote, currently there is no transparent, consistent framework for regulating AI in the U.S. While some experts say the government should be involved in conversations about AI safety, others argue the result could stifle the industry, close quote. Somehow they must be blaming Donald Trump, but they stop short by just saying a group of experts experts have written a letter to him urging some action because they say AI models have reached expert levels of cyber capability. Okay, but I guess we're totally cool with this because thinking outside the box, now we can check how much gas is in our car at the moment, open our living room blinds, make sure our math is right on the business report we're submitting next week, shop for clever knickknacks to send to random relatives and friends for any occasion, and watch for stray dogs on our outdoor patio cameras from our phones while halfway around the world smoking the hookah in an Amsterdam hash den. Oh, and when we're drinking with buddies, we can solve once and for all who sold more records between the Beatles and Rolling Stones during an argument, and whether or not it tastes great or is less filling.
Tastes great. Less filling.
Tastes great! Well worth the risk of total global financial meltdown by non-human superintelligent machines with no innate groundings in morals, societal mores, or fear of eternal punishment from a supreme being.
There is no God.
Here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks. It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
they want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Fredericks Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineer sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next-level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now.
You hear a lot about weight loss injections because the results are dramatic, but injections aren't for everyone. So doctors created a new generation weight loss supplement. This is non-prescription lean, and the science behind it is impressive. The studied ingredients in lean are intended to address weight loss in 3 powerful ways: help maintain healthy blood sugar, help control appetite, and help convert fat into energy so you burn it faster.
Get 20% off with discount code Godzilla at TakeLean.com. Code Godzilla at TakeLean.com.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who plays to win the game, John Fredericks.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. You're great zombie. And
Okay, you're on the John Fredericks Media Network, and I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables. Lace them up and lace them tight. I hope you're ready to go today. As all days, we are ready to rock and roll. Truth and clarity right here. Got to get nonsense somewhere else. I can't help you, but you're going to get the truth on the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, we love taking your calls. This is a call-in show. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Well, fasten your seatbelts, folks. Here we go. Well, looky what we have here in New Jersey. We have illegal voters. We have illegal aliens voting in our elections, just like President Trump said a week ago. Remember, they mocked him for a week? They mocked him for 5 days. They said this is made up. It's political power. He said there were thousands and thousands. I think he said 35,000 illegal voters in New Jersey. Jackie Sherrill comes out the next day. Oh, that's just political weaponization. We're clean. That doesn't happen here. Well, looky what we have here, folks. The dam for the fake Democrats has finally imploded in front of their face, and it's starting in New Jersey. Jackie Sherrill, governor of New Jersey, has to come out yesterday in a hastily called press conference and admit that they have at least 6,500, almost 7,000 illegal alien registered voters on New Jersey rolls. At least 7,000. Trump says it was 35,000. Now, of course, New Jersey wouldn't give the voter rolls to the Department of Justice. Why? Because there is illegal voters on there. People that are voting that are not citizens, and they're voting in federal elections. This has now become a banana republic. This is what the Democrats want. Now, the Democrats have spent the day defending this. Here's what they're saying. Well, we can only verify that about 500 of these people voted in the last election. Okay. You can only verify that 500 people voted. You can only verify there's 6,500 illegals on your voting rolls. Department of Justice said there's 35,000. So let's times that by 6, right? Because the Department of Justice says you're about 6x short. So if they say 500 people voted illegally and there's 6 times more illegal voters than Jersey said there was, times 500 by 6, that's 3,000. 3,000 voters can influence county election, city election, council election, congressional election. They can influence anything. You don't know if they're all concentrated in Union County. You have no idea where they are. They could all be concentrated in Passaic. They could all be concentrated anywhere and flip a House seat. Are you kidding me? This is the tip of the iceberg. President Trump is right again. Again, he's right to do this. And the libtards are out there mocking him for 5 days. And now they're all backtracking on it saying, well, this is an isolated incident. No, it isn't. This is one of many states. Every single state that wouldn't turn over their voting rolls has illegals on them. We don't even know what the number is. No one has any idea. But Trump was right. We're in banana republic stage now, where we got illegals voting, registered to vote, and they say, oh, nothing to see here. It was a computer glitch. And then Jackie Sherrill's out, wait a minute. This was not on my watch. She said she was appalled by it. Appalled you are. She was appalled by it. She was appalled. She's going to take immediate action. She blamed the former governor, Governor Phil. She blamed him. Then the Democrats are out there blaming a computer glitch. Well, it was just a computer glitch. This happens. Software gets messed up. It was just a software mistake. Oh, we're going to fix it. After the votes are in and elections are already won and certified, now you're going to fix it. What the hell are you going to fix? You don't even know what you're fixing. You're registering illegals when you got motor voter. So you're just registering. They're checking the box, not an illegal citizen. Then you register them to vote. Then they get a ballot in the mail. Then they vote. Then they put it in the drop box. There's no ID. I mean, think about what happened. I'm an illegal immigrant. I came in the country illegally. New Jersey says, hey, get a driver's license. It's all good. We want you to drive trucks and go the wrong way down the interstate. Hey, commercial license, baby. Let's go. Let's get a license so you can get a job illegally too, because you're not supposed to work here without a permit. And the people that are hiring you aren't supposed to hire you. But let's break all the laws and get you a driver's license. Yay, let's go get a driver's license. Go to DMV. That's always a fun day in New Jersey if you ever live there. DMV, schedule the appointment for Tuesday, get there Monday. So they wait because they don't have anything else to do because they're getting welfare. So they wait and they wait and they wait and they get their license. And then they get this form, which they can't read because they can't speak English. And it says, are you a citizen? Maybe they check no. Maybe they check yes. Who knows? Let's say they check no. No, I'm not a citizen. Okay, good job. But of course, you're automatically registered to vote. So they run it through the computer and they ignore that they're not a citizen and they get on the voter rolls. Now they're a registered voter in New Jersey. Now, because you don't need ID in New Jersey, and what's even better is they mail out ballots. So now you're living with, 8 people in a cement truck or something, and now you get a ballot in the mail. Ooh, ballot in the mail. Democrat. Yeah, they're going to give me money. Check, 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 check. Now what do I do with it? Well, I don't need ID. I'll just sign it. I'll scribble sign it. Can't sign my name. Voted for all the Dems because that's what I was told to do because they're going to give me money for free. America's a great place because you get free stuff by the Democrats. And so do I have to show ID to vote? No, I'll just put it in the Dropbox or I'll mail it in. Hey, do you have 25 cents for a stamp or whatever it is now? I don't even know, 50 cents, 80, $1. I have no idea. But they just put it in a Dropbox. They sign it, no ID, nothing, vote gets counted. Hey, that's the way to have the most secure election in the history of America. The safest, most secure election. Isn't that what the Democrats have been saying since 2020? The safest, most secure election with illegals voting. So now you're caught red-handed with your fingers in the cookie jar. So now what do they say? Well, no problemo. It's just a computer glitch. It's really an isolated incident. It really doesn't, it's not rampant. It's not widespread. It's not like Illinois, and it's only a few hundred and a few thousand and a few tens of thousands and a few 100,000. It really doesn't affect anything except these races here. Maybe it did, but, we don't really know who voted, so out. We already seated them. It's all good. It's all good. It's all for the greater good. This is the pile of crap the Democrats have been selling you, and now they're spinning their way out of it. I got so many clips here, I don't even know where to start. But it is such a joke. It is a joke. Jersey is a clown car. Cheryl's a fraud. Oh, it's Governor Phil's fault. I'm appalled. I'm appalled. This is days after she said, well, that's, weaponization of voter rolls. That's weaponization. That's political. We don't have 35,000 illegals here. We have no illegals. We're clean as a hound's tooth. We're clean. You can't get cleaner than us. We're so clean. You could go down to the bottom. You could eat off our voter rolls. They're so clean. You could have a picnic. No ants. It's all clean. Cleaner than a hound's tooth, she says 3 days ago. Now it's, sorry, I'm appalled. I'm really appalled by this. I'm so appalled. I'm appalled. But it's his fault. It's Phil's fault. Governor Phil, your fault. Murphy, Irish guy over there, it's his fault. I don't have anything to do with it. If it was up to me, I'd clean this up long ago. Now that I know, I'm going to be on it. I'm on it like flies on manure. I'm Jackie Sherrill, and I'm getting rid of these illegals. Of course, they all vote for me, so maybe I better think that one through. But yeah, I'm appalled. We're all appalled. Oh my goodness. Only in New Jersey can this happen. John, this is your call and your day, baby. John in Monmouth County, New Jersey, home of milk and honey. John, go ahead. You're live, buddy.
Hey, John, it's unbelievable, isn't it? They don't do the illegals here in New Jersey.
Nope.
So what you're missing, there's more to the story, of course, and you know that there's, I mean, the DHS is saying they're seeing at least 35,000 just with an initial scrub. But the real story is with the group that collects the data through the DMV. It's called the IDEMIA. They're like affiliated with Identigo. Do you ever go get your fingerprints done, Identigo? So here's the story. And I did a little homework this morning. They've been working with the Division of Motor Vehicles in New Jersey for 40 years now, collecting data. And they're saying this wasn't a glitch. What they do is they collect the data, and then they transfer it to the Department of State in New Jersey, which is the Division of Elections, and they're the ones that registered the actual voters. So she's which of course for them to come out and admit it, there's a deeper story here because they're trying to cut this thing at the feet. But the bottom line is she's actually lying, it looks like, allegedly, because they're saying we have the data, we just transfer it to the Division of Elections. So they're actually registering the voters. It's unbelievable what's happening here. How we cannot get the Senate to move at this point is just, it's jaw-dropping. That's the story. Unbelievable.
There's no voter fraud, Johnny. According to the Democrats, there's no voter fraud. It's all good, John. Nothing to see here, John. Nothing to see here. It's all Trump. It's all made up. It's all nothing. He's got nothing. Oh, wait a minute. We got a computer glitch here in New Jersey. Here's at least 6,000 that we just, first passed off. I mean, John, we are going to win the midterms. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the polls say. Average Americans that have a brain in their head are not going to vote for these whack jobs. They're just not going to do it. We are going to win. And that's why I'm so optimistic. I get up every day. Well, I had dinner with somebody last night, doom and gloom. We're going to lose 40 seats, GOP operative. I get it. Trends, numbers, this, that. I said, well, you've never been in a time where the communists are inside the tent. We're going to throw them out. They're not going to win, dude. They're not going to win. And we're going to clean up these voter rolls. Let's go. Lace them up, Johnny, and lace them tight. New Jersey. Where else would you have the first dam break in fraud? If you scoured every state, which one would you pick? New Jersey. It doesn't get better than this, John. We'll be right back.
972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code GODZILLA for free activation.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Piers 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking, free. General admission, free. Memories, priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
What happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked, or the second half. We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
All right, you got him, and you got him back, and it's great to have you with us. And we got vote fraud in New Jersey. We got vote fraud all over the place. But folks, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Okay, what is going to go on is just beyond the pale. We've only actually started with this. We've also got some updates here on the primaries last night in Arizona. Mike Lamb wins his seat. Sheriff Lamb been on my show many times. We're excited about his win. He's going to win that congressional seat. Andy Biggs is the gubernatorial nominee. He'll go up against Katie Hobbs. He is going to win that race. He is a tough candidate. She's been horrible, so we're very excited about that. And a lot of good things happening on that front that we're fired up about. Now, you got the Iran war. We got clips on that. President Trump, I think now is past the point of no return. You got to finish the job here. You've got to finish it. There's no other way to do this but to get in there, take Carg Island. He's got to do something dramatic. He's got to take Carg Island and just get this over with and keep bombing them into oblivion. Keep the stranglehold on. There's no deal. There's no MOU. There's no negotiation. They can negotiate all they want. We don't know who we're dealing with. There's two governments there. The thing is a mess. Keep bombing them. Keep taking them out. That's it. And keep starving the country until finally they just have to do something or nothing, or who cares? Just get the straits open and get the oil. That's it. That's all we have to do. And he'll be rewarded by ending this horrendous regime. He'll be rewarded at the polls. See, everybody think this war is going to cause him to lose. If he continues what he's doing and he finishes it, this is going to be the thing that takes the Republicans over the top, because average people realize we couldn't go on this way with these people. I mean, they've been at war with us for 50 years, and we got plenty of clips on it coming up. And but let's go to Steve in Virginia. Steve, you're live.
Good morning, Chairman Fredericks. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
And I wanted to talk about a couple things that you mentioned yesterday. And first of all, I believe your lapel mic is not only adequate, but it's a studio standard for what you're doing as far as, you're doing a radio show, but you're also doing video. So, having microphones in the scene on a TV set is kind of like, I don't know what Larry King's problem was and all the others that started doing it. And now you've got all these clodcasters, as I call them, that have to have this giant microphone in front of their face, and they're wearing headphones like they're doing something, and it's like, it's all irrelevant and it looks stupid, and it comes down to probably a psychological issue of having a phallic symbol to represent them. So I agree with what you're doing, and I think that the sound is always great. And when it comes to your weight loss, I think that's really great. At one time, I myself, 6'2", weighed 288 pounds, but I also worked out a lot when I was young. And so a lot of the muscle that I built up in my early years, eventually turned to fat, but I still had a lot of muscle, and I wound up losing, when I reached 288, I thought, this is too much, and I cut back. But, for what you're dealing with now, I would say one of the best things you can do is to have your biggest meal of the day in the middle of the afternoon, because with your schedule and when you go to sleep and everything, you don't want to be going to sleep, after having a meal to begin with. But I actually, with just a good dose of B12 and not eating, during the evening hours, but eating my biggest meal in the afternoon, I went from about 250 down to 212 without changing anything that I ate or the amounts of anything that I ate. So hopefully, maybe you can incorporate that into what you're doing also with lean, and that'll help you get down to where you really want to be.
Well, thank you for that. And I've got my lean right here. I take it at the 7 o'clock hour. So when I get back, I'll take it. I just take it on air, but this is lean weight loss. So we'll do that at 7. But I'm kind of excited about it, and I got to get this last 25 off before the end of the year. I got 6 months to go, so lost a pound already. So it's a good sign, You get on the scale, you're either the same, down, or up, right? Down is always better than up, regardless of what it is. But anyway, Steve, thank you for that comment. Thank you for the comment on the microphone. What's on your mind?
I also want to let you know that when it comes to the scale, the scale, it doesn't always tell the truth. There's basically 3 types of body, that bodies that people have is endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. And, knowing you personally, I'd say you're a combination of all 3, but, you can't, take what your weight is and also take, the size of whatever suit you're wearing and say, well, I need to get down to this size, or I need to get down to this weight, because the way your body's made, you have a lot of large bones and a lot of muscle, but you also, have a lot of internal organs, which is the differences of the endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. So, some people are more to one or the other, and they can look thin as a rail and be healthy and everything. But other people like you and me, it's like you're always going to have like a bit of a gut because you've got large intestines and internal organs. So
it's like when people say my cat Sammy is fat. First of all, he's not fat. He's big bone. He's just got big bones, right? Big paws, big bones. So we get it. But yeah, Sammy's doing fine. I got to tell you though, now that we're not on politics, you brought it up. There's these baby birds, right? There's a bunch of birds out. We're like up on a high floor, and there's big windowsills there. So the birds now mock them because we can't open the window. It's too high, and would never open it with a screen because his paw could go through it and he could fall out. So that's not going to happen. So the windows are closed. So the birds have figured out that he can't get to them. So they sit on the ledge and mock him. They mock him. It's like hilarious. And he goes crazy, and they're like just staring at him. And then when he's asleep or he's not there, they'll all perch on the thing, like looking in, waiting for him to come out. I mean, it's hilarious. And then he comes out and they all squawking, and then they come back and he squawks again. I mean, they absolutely mock him when he's not there. So, Sammy's got to get a little bit quicker in his game. Those birds are mocking him. But yeah, anyway, anything on politics you want to mention, Steve?
Well, I guess it's part of their entertainment, but
yes.
But yeah, when you mentioned about as far as weight and the scale, I was actually going to a gym, some number of years ago, and the guy who owned the gym had been a bodybuilder, and professional bodybuilder, and then he had retired from bodybuilding, and he had his gym, so he looked at me one day and he says, how much do you weigh? And I said, well, you're the expert, because he judges competitions, and I said, so, how much do you think I weigh? And he says, well, I think you're like 240. And I'm like, no, I'm 270. So, muscle can add a lot of weight to your, to your scale, and you don't really look like you're, that heavy. So, looks can be deceiving, but, go for what's healthy for you and what you're happy with. And, I look forward to seeing what Lean's going to be doing for you, because it sounds interesting. I looked at their website, and so I appreciate that. Something's going to get you to where you want to be, and maybe this is it. But, once again, eating your biggest meal at the in the middle of the afternoon is probably the best thing you can do.
Yeah, I actually concur with that, John. I was thinking your story about the birds. It's like we are at a lion or tiger exhibit at the zoo. we're safe because they're behind the glass. It's like, hey, look at the lion, look at the tiger.
It's like he's their entertainment.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they'll perch on the window and they'll be staring into the window, wondering where he is, and then like he'll be asleep somewhere. And Joe will wake him up and say, hey, the birds are mocking you. And then we'll just wake him up and dump him there. And he jumps up and he goes crazy. And they're like just dancing around, laughing their ass off, waiting for him. And then they fly. He puts his paws on the window and they all fly away. And then 16 seconds later, they're all back because they figured out he can't get out. So they just mock the hell out of him. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs for Sammy when you get older and the birds who were once your prey are now
right. Exactly.
You're like in their zoo.
It's a whole different story with a pane of glass between. Whole different story, but yeah.
That and just age. I mean, he gets older. I mean, he's not going to do anything. So we can barely get him out. I used to take him when I first got there. I would walk him in the McPherson Square. He doesn't want to do that anymore. He just sits there. He just doesn't want to do it. We'd rather sit in the sun. You bring him out there, the sun's out. He just lies down. It's like, well, you can lie down upstairs. Why am I standing here? So he's getting older. So I guess it affects all of us, Dan. Let's get Dan. Let's get to cut one. We're gonna have fun with this today, Danny boy. Here's Jake Tapper. He says that the New Jersey voter roll error is not good for Democrats' argument. Really, Jake? Wow. Jake Tapper had an epiphany. Well, the fact that the illegals are voting in New Jersey probably isn't a good argument for them saying that non-citizens can't vote because, maybe we do need to say back Jake Areno. Let's go to Jake Tapper, cut one, an epiphany.
For nothing. But Mikey Sherrill, the governor of New Jersey, made this announcement today, a surprising announcement. Nearly 400 non-citizens voted in New Jersey elections as a result of what she calls a serious software error. Governor Sherrill posted this quote, as the Trump administration tries to weaponize elections for political gain, I am ensuring we protect our elections. She goes on to say the difference is simple. When we find a problem, we don't hide it, deny it, or invent conspiracies. We investigate it, we fix it, and we tell the public. I have to say, though, for Democrats, I'm not saying that the Save America, the SAVE Act is going to pass.
Yeah.
But this is not good for Democrats' argument that there's no such thing as undocumented immigrants voting.
This is not good for our country generally, I would
Right.
say.
Even better.
And it is not, this is a terrible problem to have. I think she handled it correctly. This happened before her time. She was made aware of it just recently.
Well, as long as she's made aware of it, that's good. Yeah, it's not good for the country, and it's going to give the Republicans a tremendous amount of ammunition to get the SAVE Act passed. But, of course, we can't get rid of the filibuster. We can't get rid of the parliamentarian. John Thune won't do anything. And it just goes on and on with the same nonsense over and over and over. Let's get to three. Cut three here. Here's Scott Jennings asking Abby Phillip what her tolerance is for voter fraud. See, this was brilliant by Jennings. Okay. And I'm going to take a page out of this. This was brilliant because he didn't ask her about voter fraud or what she thinks he said, because they're all saying, well, it's just, 500 voters, 6,600 voters. It's really not that many. It's not affecting the presidential outcome, right? So he's asking her, well, what level of fraud can you tolerate? Brilliant question. 3, roll it.
Of widespread, by the way. Is it 1%? Is it 2%?
I don't know, more than 100? I think it's a big problem. What's yours?
What's
your tolerance for this?
Hold on. This is not about tolerance. This is about, is it widespread or is it something that is relatively rare,
You're
Scott?
Pounding him over the word widespread. I just would ask you,
Scott,
what is your tolerance for any fraud at all?
Is it widespread?
Absolutely. Over 6,000 people.
What is your bar for widespread?
She said, my bar is I want no tolerance. Okay. I have zero tolerance.
So what is your tolerance for American citizens?
By the way, this isn't the only place this is happening.
What is your tolerance for American citizens whose valid voter registrations are invalidated by incorrect databases? What's your tolerance for that?
I don't have tolerance for any mistakes in the electoral system, including putting non-citizens on the rolls.
So then why are we not keeping the same energy for that as we are for this?
I do have energy. As you know, I've come out here and long argued that every time we don't clean up the voter rolls, that every time a non-citizen makes it onto the voter rolls, it invalidates some legal person's vote.
What about when an American is not allowed to vote when they are eligible to vote?
I don't have any tolerance for that either. An American citizen should be allowed to vote. But American citizens are.
See, they can't ever answer the question. This is what the communists do. They just flip it back. Well, what about you? What about you? What about you? What about you? It's got nothing to do with this. What is your tolerance? If you're saying it's not widespread and it's no big deal, what is your tolerance? 10%, 100%, 50%, 2%? What's your tolerance for illegals voting in your elections? That's the question. And, of course, these nitwits can't answer it. Line 1, Ed in Virginia Beach, go.
Good morning, John. How you doing today?
Never better, Ed. Thank you.
Hey, I got to tell you, John, I've been listening to you since you lived in Chesapeake.
Thank you.
I think you're one of the greatest voices for this place, and I can remember. You're like a Walter Cronkite for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And wanted to tell you, I really think the last governor's race we had in Virginia, when all the mail-in ballots showed up right at the end, and it was such a large, even number, that if that didn't stink to high heaven, I'd like to know what does.
Well, that's the problem, what I've been saying with these mail-out ballots. I mean, if you're not on top of this, you have no ability to win an election. I mean, when they're getting, if you looked at the referendum in New Jersey, right? The no vote, I'm sorry, Virginia. Sorry, Ed. The no vote in Virginia on game day won in a landslide. The no vote on game day, on early voting, or we actually go in and vote in Virginia early, right, was virtually tied. So he did a great job on early voting. The mail-in ballots, which represented 20% of the vote in Virginia in that referendum, went for the Democrats 90-10. 90-10. You can't win. How they got to 90-10, how they got all these ballots in by the mail, they're harvesting them. And we don't know who they're harvesting. If you're an illegal voter and you get a ballot in the mail, you don't have to show your face ever. You don't have to show ID. You don't have to do anything in Virginia. Somebody comes at your door, you check the box, you're going to get more money, you give it to them, and they harvest it. Until we figure this out, we can't win. This is why the SAVE Act is so critical. This is why mail-in ballots, look, I'm for being in the game until we get rid of it. So I'm trying to get rid of it. But in the meantime, Ed, we got to get in the game. You lose mail-in ballots 90-10, and they represent now 20% of the votes. You can't win an election ever. That's the problem that we have. The fraud is that Jersey, I'm telling you, Ed, tip of the iceberg. It is one little speck of sand on this. The Democrats have invented a fraud vote machine with mail-in ballots, phony ballots, Starbucks ballots, illegal voters, harvesting. They've crafted this fraud machine that Trump understands we have got to break it. We have got to break it to bits. And you do that with a SAVE Act. But as long as these states have this kind of jurisdiction, we're screwed. I mean, do you think there's no illegal voters in Virginia, Ed?
Well, I saw those numbers come in that night. I stayed up late to watch it, and I just couldn't believe. I mean, do they have like a guy that sits in the room at the end of the right before it closes and goes, "I got to print out like 40,000 to make this right"?
No, that's not the way it works.
Like.
They're not manufacturing votes at the end. They harvest mail-in ballots. They have an operation. They have the boots on the ground. These people are paid. They have the money. They know who's got a mail ballot. They go to their door. If they haven't turned it in, they knock on it. They get them to fill it out. They put it in their duffel bag and they put it in their drop box. Okay, this is called ballot harvesting. And we have no counter to that. We have no antidote. So that is their operation. We don't know of these mail-in ballots, Ed. We don't know how many of these are illegal voters. We don't know how many of these 8 people live in the same, cement truck or a taco stand or a food truck or whatever their address is. You have no idea. You never see them. They're harvested and put in a box. And this is how the Democrats are able to win. And we don't have any antidote for this. So what we're trying to do is get rid of it because we're 3-4 cycles behind. Here's the good news, Ed. We caught up on early voting. Early voting is never going away. There's never going to be one-day election again, okay? Now, 45 days in Virginia is a joke, but think about it. We've come so far on early voting where we were getting trounced. Now we're getting like between 35 and 50% of the vote. We got almost 50% on that referendum in the 45-day vote in Virginia. So we're getting there. We've done a masterful job at that and getting even with them on early voting. And we're still winning game day. But it's the mail-out ballots that are killing us because it's a fraud scheme, Ed. It's all fraud. That's why they're winning 90-10. Unbelievable. Ed from Virginia Beach. Hey, Ed, thank you for the kind words. Ed, I'll give you the final word, and then we got to go. Go ahead, Ed.
I wanted to say the last time I talked to you, I called you on the phone to give you the results of my polling. And I don't know if you remember that or not. But
Sure
I wanted
do.
to mention that when I went to my polling station, the Democrats had a card table set up and 3 people sitting there. And I looked over at the other side of the sidewalk, and it was a ghost town.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Republican machine in Virginia really needs to step it up just a little bit.
So the problem we have, Ed, and I'll be very candid here, is our get out the vote effort is volunteer driven. Their get out the vote effort are paid operatives. Those 3 people at the card table, they were getting paid $25 an hour. That's the difference. They put the money in this. We don't. We don't raise it. We want to raise money and put it in TV ads. They raise money. They pay these people. These are all paid operatives. Every time you see a tent, every time you see a card table, every time you see them handing out palm cards, they're paid. You see our people doing it, volunteers. They put the money where the votes are to gather them. Our consultants get your money, run TV ads, get 15%. You don't get 15% for the paid operatives at the card table. You get 15% for running TV ads and mailers. That's just a reality, Ed. It's a cold, hard truth. It's where the Republicans are at right now. Elections are driven by consultants who are driven by making money, who don't put anything in the ground game. That's why we get beat on signs, everything. All our people are volunteers. All their people are paid. That's the fundamental difference. Ed, thank you. John Fredericks Media Network. I think we've got Elaine Parker coming up. Christine Glassner. After that, more on New Jersey and the vote fraud when I get back. Stay with us.
This is WJFA, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. With only 104 days left until this fall's midterm elections, the issue of affordability, including prices of gasoline and groceries, continues to be raised by voters, some of whom blame the war with Iran. But one GOP leader, Oklahoma Congressman Josh Brakeen, says the real culprit is Congress spending beyond its means.
Devaluation of our currency is what's driving this. Overspending in Washington, D.C. The biggest thing we can do to stop the unaffordability crisis is to stop the devaluation of our currency and do something, really do something about the $2 trillion overspend every year. We are a nation that's headed towards a sovereign debt crisis or inflation turning into hyperinflation. That is our future. There was a time in the 1900s where $5 would be comparable to $100 today.
The Oklahoma Republican says that devaluation, the devaluation of the dollar, is what's really behind higher prices at gas pumps and grocery store checkout counters. Close ally of President Trump, Congressman Andy Biggs, has won Arizona's Republican governor's primary. Secretary of State Rubio says Iran cannot be allowed to control the strategic Strait of Hormuz.
If we create a precedent in the Middle East where a nation state can decide that they are going to control an international waterway, charge a toll, and if you don't pay them, blow up your ships, we have created a very dangerous precedent.
The U.S. has carried out an 11th night of military strikes on Iran. It is one of a U.S. president's most solemn duties. Later today, President Trump will attend the dignified transfer ceremony for 4 U.S. service members recently killed in the Mideast. Large swath of the east has been pounded by severe storms, flooding rains, fierce winds, and Tropical Storm Bertha expected to make landfall along the Louisiana Gulf Coast late tonight or early tomorrow morning. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 13 points. NASDAQ futures 150 points in the red. More on these stories, townhall.com.
If you're watching the market, you may know that gold has pulled back more than 20% from its recent highs. Silver has fallen even further. History shows that this could be the perfect time to diversify your retirement portfolio to include precious metals like gold and silver. In crisis after crisis over the last 50 years, gold fell first, then surged to new highs as the crisis unfolded. That's why Advantage Gold wants to send you a free gold investment guide valued at $49, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's best-selling book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, when you call 800-900-8000. In today's market, government debt has exploded to nearly $40 trillion, and central banks around the world continue buying gold at record levels. The smart money sees opportunity. If you're considering diversifying a retirement account with precious metals, tax and penalty free, now is the best time to call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Ukraine is pushing ahead with its fight against Russia under new military leadership. President Zelensky has fired his army chief following public pressure, then announced the commander's successor.
Making the announcement, the president thanked General Syrski and said a significant path had been traveled. His replacement is the much younger Mihailo Drapati, a man with a distinguished record of his own and, crucially, a friend of the ousted defense minister Mikhailo Fedorov. Mr. Fedorov called his appointment a breath of fresh air and a renewed source of hope. That will go some way towards reassuring thousands of protesting Ukrainians that their voices have been heard. But they will also want to know that Mr. Fedorov, seen as the driving force behind much of the military's recent innovation, will continue to play a central role.
The BBC's Paul Adams. At least 999 people have died from the Ebola outbreak in eastern Congo, the grim toll in what's already been declared the fastest outbreak in history. News and analysis, townhall.com. Not so fast on the release of a Columbia University activist.
A federal appeals panel in New York reverses a lower court decision ordering the release of pro-Palestinian activist Mohsen Madawi, a legal permanent resident, opening the door to his re-arrest. Madawi is a student protest organizer who the Trump administration spent more than a year trying to deport. He's been appealing a removal order in immigration court. In their unanimous decision Tuesday, the panel found the federal judge overstepped by intervening before the case moved through immigration courts. The ruling mirrors a separate appellate panel's decision earlier this year against Mahmoud Khalil, a former classmate of Madawi's at Columbia University. Julie Walker, New York.
OpenAI says its artificial intelligence system went off the rails, hacking into another AI company all on its own. OpenAI calls it an unprecedented cyber incident. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Van Hillary has fought for America before, and he's ready to do it again. As an Air Force navigator in Desert Storm, Van's mission was simple: chart the course, stay on mission. When he came home to Tennessee, he won an election nobody thought a Republican could win. Then he did it again and again. For almost a decade, America First conservative Van Hillary has fought the radical left, stood with President Trump, and never folded, securing our border, cutting taxes, and bringing jobs to Tennessee.
Radical Democrats are trying to hijack our country. President Trump needs a conservative fighter who knows how to win. I'll keep fighting to help President Trump finish what he started, keeping our border secure, growing our economy, and destroying the woke agenda. I'm Van Hillary, and I approve this message because I'm standing with President Trump to get America back on mission.
America First conservative Van Hillary. He's never folded, and he never will. Paid for by Van for Tennessee.
Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So, what if you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The ingredients studied in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're not as hungry. But listen, Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Get started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to takelean.com and enter the code Godzilla for your discount. That's discount code Godzilla at takelean.com.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Live
from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who never has a failure to communicate, John Fredericks.
Your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables, coming live from Washington, D.C. Hey, no travel this week. Probably going to be a press briefing tomorrow. President Trump going to Georgia today. Peach Crew, they're all fired up. They'll be on at 9. Elaine Parker is with us. She'll be joining us momentarily. But I'm going to take you on my continual weight loss journey. Started this thing at 285. That's too bad. Doctor said, you want to stay around to see your son pitch, play baseball. We got to lose some weight. Did a lot of different things. PhD weight loss definitely helped me when I started there. Went down a lot. So I'm 245, 242 now, but just kind of a plateau. So I've started this thing called Lean. This is right here by Brickhouse Nutrition. Now, everybody's talking about this these injections. I don't take injections. I don't like my blood sugar spiking. I don't like synthetic stuff. I would never do that. But that's just me. If you're having success with it, fine. But I like natural stuff that works in a different way. Also, when you take these shots, these are not sustainable unless you're going to take these for the rest of your life and pay all that money. I mean, a lot of people, when they get off it, start putting the weight back on. I'm not interested in that. So I'd rather lose it the right way. And what I found out with Lean is that in the studied ingredients, you do weight loss in 3 powerful ways. You help support healthy blood sugar. You help your body fat by converting it into energy, and you help curb appetite and cravings so you're not hungry. And Lean was created for frustrated doubters like me that want to get to the next level, but you got to want to lose 10 or more pounds. If you're trying to lose 2 pounds or 3 pounds for a wedding, no, don't do this. But I can get you 20% off right now. Now, I take my Lean every day at 7 a.m. I take 3 of these. I take it right on air. That way you don't forget, because sometimes you're busy in the morning. I got things going on. I got to get my rundown in. So I just pop 3 of these in right here, Lean. Get a little water. Here's the other good thing. You can never drink enough water. So, It took me 5 seconds. Done, right? No injections. Get Lean. This thing is going to really make a difference in your life if you're trying to lose weight. And it's created for people like me. We can get you started like I did with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan, because you need to diet, you need to exercise. And what's it going to do is curb your appetite. So you got to do a little bit of walking. You don't have to be jogging every day. Nobody's going to do that. But Elaine, she goes out there and jogs 20 miles a day, but the average person can't do that. So average person like me, I do a little walking. I do my push-ups. I'm busy, but I need something to be able to make sure that I can have my appetite curbed a little bit, because you lose weight by exerting more calories than you have coming in. That's how you lose weight. That's basically it. So it's as easy as that. And you get started with 20% off. Go to takelean.com and enter promo code Godzilla for your 20% off. Just go to takelean.com, takelean.com, promo code Godzilla, and you're going to get 20% off. Now, for the person who does not need Lean, let's bring in Elaine Parker, Vice President, Chief Communications Officer for Job Creators Network. And Elaine, good to have you. You do not need to take Lean. You do not need to lose any weight. But for some of us, yes, we definitely need it. But it's good to have you, Elaine. We're going to go to New Jersey and then go to economics. Let's get to cut 4 here, Dan. This is Keith Boykin defending the Jersey vote fraud. These Democrats are unbelievable. They're actually now defending the fraud because they got nowhere to go with it, because they said there was none, and now we've got one, and many more are going to be coming out. 4, roll it.
Information. Why are you comfortable with that system being used to check the voter rolls.
This is a convenient deflection for you. This is the worst possible story that could happen for Democrats right now regarding the debate over the SAVE Act. 6,600 illegal aliens on the rolls in New Jersey that you know about.
Can I tell you why I think this conversation is wrong? Because, first of all, this is not the worst possible conversation. This is actually a very good conversation for Democrats because Mikey Sherrill did exactly the right thing. She was transparent.
That's all I was saying.
Let me finish. She was transparent.
And it was good.
She was transparent. She was accountable. She immediately held the people accountable. She removed the software vendor, and she criticized the former governor, who was a Democrat, criticized the former governor for failing to address the problem. That's exactly what a responsible leader is supposed to do. Exactly the opposite of what Donald Trump did in this irresponsible speech last week. Exactly the opposite of what Donald Trump did when he lost the 2020 election and he told the people in Georgia he needs to find 11,780 votes, which, by the way, is voter fraud. This is not an issue about whether it's widespread or not. It's not, because it's really a question about, is it even fraud? This was not fraud. This was a mistake. People were given an option. Are you a U.S. citizen or not? They said no. But the computer system incorrectly registered them to vote. They didn't do anything of their own.
That's a fair
Fraud
point.
required them to do something on their own purposely to defraud the system.
I mean, Elaine, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, illegals are voting in the United States. Democrats are harvesting illegal votes in the mail, in drop boxes. They've been doing it since COVID in 2020. They found a new way to steal elections, and now they got to backtrack and blame a computer glitch. And all of us know that this has been going on since 2020. We don't know the extent of it. There's states that will not give their voter rolls over to the Department of Justice because they know there's thousands of illegals on their rolls that they won't take off because they want them to vote for them. What is your response to this, Elaine Parker?
Well, it's amazing to me that Mikey Sherrill came out and blamed the vendor immediately. And the reason why she's so transparent is because she wanted to make sure that she wasn't blamed. The interesting thing is that the vendor has come out and said, no, it was actually the New Jersey Division of Voter Registration that did this, not us. So now we've got a he said, she said. Frankly, I don't care who did it, John. The reality is this is real proof. And you know what the response was from Abby Phillips on CNN? It was, it's not enough. It's not enough. So it doesn't rise to the level. Every time one person who is illegally registered to vote and they negate American citizens, it negates their vote. It's not fair. It's not right. And it's illegal. And what we've been told for years is that it doesn't happen. It absolutely doesn't happen because if you're not an American citizen, it's illegal for you to register to vote. And here we have 6,600 cases of people being registered to vote, actual documentation, and they say, but it's a small percentage. Wouldn't it change? It doesn't negate the election for New Jersey. So what? So what? This is what we know about. What don't we know?
That's the key question you just asked. That is the $64,000 question. What don't we know? Because we know this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? This is just what they found, and she had no choice but to admit on national TV 5 days after the president's speech saying they had 35,000. Well, they think there's 35. She only admitted to 6. There's probably 35. So if there's if you want to keep the same ratio that, like 500 people voted out of 6,000, which is 10%. So then if there's 35,000, you got 3,500 illegal votes. I mean, you don't know what the extent of this is, and this is only one sliver of one state, Elaine.
Look, John, in 2020, my nephew went to vote in the state of Florida. I mean, we have a great showed up to vote. He waited until the day of the election, as conservatives do, unfortunately, but he waited until the day of the election to go cast his vote. You know what they told him? You've already cast your vote. A ballot was dropped in a drop box with his name on it. So he was checked off as already voting, and he said, well, I didn't vote. So he was allowed to cast a provisional vote. Which vote got counted? Or did they negate each other? We don't know. We'll never know. So we know it happens, and we know that liberals and the left say it doesn't happen. It's illegal. It's not enough to change any elections. But how much is enough? It's voter ID. I have to show my ID when I go and register in a hotel, when I check in for my hotels, when I'm traveling for business. I have to show my ID when I go to the doctor's office. I have to show my ID when I pick up tickets at a will call office. There are multiple ways in every day of my life that I have to show my ID. What is wrong with having to show your ID to vote?
If you were to come on my show in Washington, D.C. live here in my studio, if you came into our office complex, you can't get past the desk without showing your ID, having them make a copy of it, and running it through a check system. And this is just an office building. You can vote, though, without it. You can just walk into Washington, D.C. You could come on Election Day, have to give your form of ID to come up to the studio, but then walk into any precinct and just vote and sign a piece of paper that said, yeah, this is where I live, and you just vote. And you could be from anywhere, and they'll count your vote. Maybe that's how I win. Get all my friends to just come in and vote. I mean, it's incredible what they're doing here. So, all right, let's get to first of all, I want to compliment you because we're getting you out of the box. This is like out of the box Elaine. I mean, we're talking about cultural issues. We're talking about voter fraud. We're talking about all the things that you never wanted to talk about. Now you're right in the middle of it. And I'm so proud of you. And you're very, very good at it. So keep it going. Now I'm going to...
We don't even talk about the economy anymore.
Well, I'm going to throw you a bone and talk about the economy because I know that's your wheelhouse. But I love sucking you into all these other issues because you're very articulate. Let's get to, where are we? Cut 2. Let's get to cut 2. The pundits are wrong about the economy as it relates to the war as it continues to boom. And of course, the fake news is telling you the opposite. Cut 2, take a listen.
The pundits and prognosticators got wrong what the market impact of this conflict would be. The markets are soaring to all-time highs at this point. It's possible that the president may believe that the pundits and prognosticators are getting wrong what the political conflict...
The impact of this war is not limited to the stock market. No. Gas prices are still elevated significantly compared to where they were on the day before this war began. So it is not true that there has been no economic impact.
But that's not what I said. I said
that
the
is
pundits
completely
got,
false.
But that's not what I said. I said the pundits got wrong what the direct market would travel.
The pundits did not limit their punditry to just what
the bottom line is gas prices under Biden were $5. Inflation was 19%. And everybody forgets about it because it was transitory, right? But look, nobody wants this war to go on, Elaine. But the economy is booming, and people, the fake news, the left, the communists will not admit the growth in this economy and the underpinnings of it are so phenomenal. This is why I'm so bullish on the midterms. By the time we hit September, this thing is going to be hitting on all 8 cylinders. Gas prices are going to come down. Like she led with gas prices. Here's my question: gas prices go to $2.50. What the hell are they going to talk about? They have nothing to say because when gas prices go down, food is going to come down, fertilizer comes down, everything comes down. That's all they're running on, even though when they were in charge, it was $5, which is so stupid. But here's where we are. Your thoughts on the Trump economy, Elaine Parker.
So look, the gas prices and the economy prior to the Iran conflict were all going in the right direction. Gas prices were down. They were below, I believe they were below $3 a gallon nationally. And the Democrats weren't congratulating the Trump policies as a result of the gas prices coming down. Things were getting better, but we still had a steep hole to dig out of. Trump had a steep hole to dig out of because overall inflation from the Biden administration, you're right, was about 20%. And so prices were elevated. Prices are elevated as a result. And it's tough to bring down prices. We can slow inflation with good policy, but it's tough to actually bring down those prices. And so we were seeing gas prices come down, which ultimately will leak into other areas of the economy because energy drives prices. Iran conflict increase gas prices again. We've kind of had a up, down, up, down, up, down. It's a little bit of a whiplash, right, on the gas prices. We're just over about $4 a gallon right now. The reality is that does hurt Americans. Now Democrats have a talking point, but they were using the same talking point prior to Iran, which is why it just falls on deaf ears coming from them, and why it actually reinforces the fact that, and I love to use this word, this is true transitory inflation. This is what transitory inflation looks like. The underlying policies of the administration, of the economy, are very good. We have a drill baby drill strategy. We've got, a good tax policy in place. We just had the 1-year anniversary of the big beautiful bill. All of the small business creation is at an all-time high. There are great things to talk about in the economy, but it doesn't change the fact that people are paying higher prices at the pump, and that translates to higher prices in the grocery store and so on. And so, yeah, do Democrats have a good talking point right now? Sure, but it is transitory. But people are hurting, and my hope is that this war is over. I don't know I'm not an oracle of it. I don't know what's going to bring it to an end. I don't envy the people who are trying to make these decisions, because they are essentially dealing with crazy people. And I don't know how it gets ended, because for 50 years, this country has been lying to the rest of the world. They make promises. They don't hold their commitments. We go into a period of not fighting, a 60-day period. And what do? 3 days in, they get. So I don't know how we're trust this country to get out of things. I don't think we're in that bad of shape going into the midterms, though. Like I said, Susan Collins, totally going to win her seat. I mean, it's not going to be an easy battle, but after the folks that they put forward the other night, I'm going to go with, Susan Collins is going to keep her seat. I think it's going to be a fight in the House for sure, but I think we'll keep the Senate. I think it's going to be a big fight in the House on keeping that. And hopefully we start to see some reprieve on gas prices. But yeah, if you look at the stock market, things look good. I mean, it's soaring, but that's not everyday life. That's not the grocery store. That's not gas prices. That's not everyday life for everybody. So, to look at the stock market and use that as your number one marker, I don't agree with that.
I don't either. And the problem with that is the stock market can go down, and then where do you go with this? So I think that's a dangerous parameter to use. I think a better parameter to use is jobs and wages. Jobs are up, wages are up. Another great barometer to use on the economy is small business launch and creation, which is at record numbers. I had Kelly Loeffler on last week, live in Pennsylvania. And the SBA administrator said that they're getting, get this, Elaine, 500,000 new business launchings, applications a month. This has set all kinds of record in the United States. We've never had this. They have record SBA loan request, express loans going out. We just are in the middle of getting another one for a station that we're looking at in Tennessee. Record numbers there, record numbers of jobs being created by small businesses, and wages are going up. So business creation is up, jobs are up, wages are up. Those are the things I look at.
We've had this whole year, we've had great jobs numbers. We did have kind of a low number in June, which is really kind of a one-off. If you look at the entire year, the expectation, of course, is that jobs will continue to increase. But that is because I mentioned the 1-year anniversary we just had a few weeks ago of the big beautiful bill. The job creation and the small business creation is at an all-time high. But that's because the policies are there. The big beautiful bill made the lower tax rates permanent across the board for everybody. It locked in that 20% tax deduction. It brought back and made permanent that immediate expensing. So John, when you're investing in the new station, you get to immediately write off those investments in the year that you make them. That's huge for small business. Those types of policies is what's making people want to start their own businesses, because the government isn't their enemy. The government is actually their partner in terms of policy and helping them succeed and prosper and grow their businesses.
That is a great point. I never thought of it that way. And we're living it every day, but you're right. I mean, where we once saw the government as an obstacle to everything we were trying to do, regulations, the FCC, this is before Ajit Pai, when I first got in the business, was very difficult to deal with. Then Ajit Pai got there under Trump. One, he made that better. Regulations are better. Our business is better. But you're right. I mean, now we're partnering. We're looking at the government. I never thought of that. That's a brilliant way to put this, because we're getting another loan. It's another SBA Express loan. That's partnering with the government, and basically the bank that we deal with and the SBA division and the federal government is betting on our business to succeed, and that's why, based on our track record, we're getting the loan. So, and they've cut through the regulations. They cut through the red tape. The FCC is 100% easier to deal with now than it was back when I first got in the business under the Obama administration. I think Wheeler was there. The whole thing was horrible. You couldn't get anything done. Try to buy a station would take 6 months. Now it takes 6 weeks to buy or sell a station. I mean, the first one I bought, it took 4 or 5 months. It just, nobody did anything. So, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what good policy looks like. And it results in new small business creation. It results in jobs. And as we come out of this war, we can rebound quickly. We saw prices coming down, during the short ceasefire we had with Iran. We saw gas prices start to come down. And frankly, inflation did come down last month. And so we are seeing inflation cooling in the numbers in spite of the war, which, is very interesting, because we're seeing gas prices go up a little bit. So hopefully we can see those gas prices come down. It's a talking point that the Democrats are continue to use. But I real credit on it, because prior to the war, they were still saying gas prices are too high.
We're going to win the midterms. I'm telling you, we're going to hang on. People are discounting the redistricting that we have, and I think it's just going to be a very different outcome. I don't believe any of the polls. We have a tremendous fundraising edge. Our biggest problem is Republican consultants don't understand the contemporary ballot gathering ground game. And so they're still putting money on TV ads to get paid 15% and make millions, while the Democrats are putting their money in harvesting ballots. And whether it's illegal or not, they're doing it, and we're not. And until we get in the game, we're going to continue to get screwed. So it's got to be, like you say, too big to rig. Elaine Parker, thanks for being with us. Always great to have this lively discussion with you at 7 a.m. People want to follow you, Elaine. Where do they go?
They can go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com, or they can follow me on X.
All right, Elaine Parker. And don't forget to join the Job Creators Network. Where a member, you can be too. You're a small business. They fight for you every day. Go to joinjcn.com. Everything is right there. Joinjcn.com. Elaine, thanks for being with us. Appreciate you. Coming up next, we're going to stay with New Jersey. Former U.S. Senate candidate. New Jersey, now part of the Trump administration. Coming up next, don't want to miss Miss Glassner. Keep it right here.
Absorption ingestible gel technology designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
People are out there saying, the Iranians are never going to live by it. But let me tell you something. President Trump is going to bomb them again if they screw around.
Hopefully they live up to it. And if not, the pounding's coming. We're going to do it again and again and again.
The Cats and Cosby Show, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Trump is the toughest president we ever had.
Well, he's definitely the best bomber.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
What are we, 10-0?
You are 10-0 for the first time in program history, Coach.
Not bad. There's a lot of skeptics. There's a lot of doubters. I get it, right? Haven't beat a top 25 team. Nebraska's 25th in the coaches poll. We beat their 56-7. How are we not right now seeded for a home game?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
126 years of Indiana football. Best season in Indiana history. Number 1 out of 126.
We got our way of doing things, and, we kick ass and take names.
We figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. Some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games. We had to wake some people up and create some excitement, and after all, this is the entertainment business, too. We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them. Oh. I know you guys have been waiting for me to say something crazy. That wasn't quite crazy.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America.
Run! It's Godzilla!
No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Now you got him back. I'm your Godzilla of the truth in America, your Oracle of the deplorables, coming live from your nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Great to have you with us. Got Christine Glasner, former U.S. Senate candidate, New Jersey, coming up. Lots to talk about there. Can't wait to get her on. She's also now a senior official in the Trump administration. This segment brought to you by my good friend Barry Draper in Mountaineer Healthcare from the Smart Health Company. Here's what they're doing. This is why I love what Barry's doing. By the way, Barry does all those songs for us in the morning, and he does a great job, Barry, great job on those. But Barry has the Smart Health Company, and he's helping families, individuals, and businesses like ours get quality health care coverage without getting destroyed financially. This is really key. Now, you get complete and comprehensive coverage, including hospitalization, surgery, and critical illness protection. You also get access to a nationwide PPO network with a low $15 copay. If you need quick care, telemedicine is included. If you need your prescriptions covered, they've got a tier program for that. Now, whether you need an individual plan for yourself, for your family, or for your business for group coverage, Mountaineer Healthcare has flexible options designed to save you some serious jack. And they operate in every state that we're in. So if you're listening to me now, they operate in your state. They operate in every state except Hawaii and Alaska. So if you're in the 50 continental, you're good to go. Real savings for real Americans. You're going to save up to 40% from a non-subsidized healthcare plan with better coverage. This is like the greatest thing I've seen. Give them a call today. Give Barry a call. 833-752-6742. Let me say that again. Put it in the Chiron. 833-752-6742. Or visit mountaineerhealthplan.com. That's mountaineerhealthplan.com. And we thank Barry for all he does for us. And great plan these guys came up with. Everybody's struggling to get the right health care, and he's been able to do that. Okay, well, we played our Hoosier clip there for Christine Glassner, who's with us now. Christine, great to have you on.
Great to be here. And boy, did you start my morning. You know how I love Coach Signetti.
Yeah, well, you
greatest
can
all-time stories ever this last season.
You can thank Dan for that. Whenever you come on, he plays your Signetti clip. So, so we always want to get you fired up in the morning. By the way, it's good to have you here. Sorry for the short notice, but this whole New Jersey thing was just sprung on us. You're a former Senate candidate in New Jersey. You ran for U.S. Senate. You ran a great race. You were the mayor of, starts with an M. Mendham. Okay. You were the mayor of Mendham for a long time, and you're very involved in New Jersey politics. What happened in New Jersey? How deep is this, Christine Glassner?
Well, John, the first thing I do want to say is, look, we can't blame Mikey Sherrill, right? Because this did not happen on her watch. She said that. We know it. It started in 2023. What happened? I mean, this is a huge debacle, but it's something that we've been saying internally, because I can't tell you how often when I was a part of that New Jersey system, we would come across votes that took place that shouldn't have taken place. In this case, we're talking about, so far, New Jersey says 6,600. DHS says the number is much greater than that, or actually DOJ. I don't know what the number is, but Mikey Sherrill has always talked about transparency. If they say 400 people voted, then tell us exactly how those people voted. I've got a ton of questions. I mean, number one, Idemia, who's the company that she claims there was a glitch in the software, and they say there wasn't a glitch in the software. They've been there for a very long time in New Jersey. How were these people registered exactly? It's one thing to say, oh, they were accidentally registered as voters, but what party were they registered under? In New Jersey, you can register Republican, Democrat, or Independent. How were they registered, and who made those decisions? I don't know that a glitch did. If we're really talking about transparency, let's see all of those numbers in terms of the percentages that people were registered under. Why not just disclose it all? And why not disclose those 400 votes, supposedly? In many towns across the entire state of New Jersey, I cannot tell you how often, and it's probably at local level, local races are won by 1 or 2 or 3 votes. That makes a very big difference, knowing whether those 400 registered voters that were illegal to vote in the state of New Jersey impacted any of those races. They say they didn't. Let's see the evidence.
Well, Christine, but they're saying there was only 400 votes, and they're saying there was only 6,000 illegal voters on the rolls, but the Department of Justice estimated 35,000. Why the discrepancy?
That's a very good question. They're saying this information, John, but they're not providing the information to the people, to the American voters, right? In New Jersey, they need to provide all of this. How do we know only 400 people? If they didn't even know that there was a glitch, how are they all of a sudden experts in this? I'm just not buying it personally. The other thing that's really important for people to understand is these vote by mails that go out. And I personally know people that moved out of the state decades ago and repeatedly reported themselves as non-New Jersey residents. And yet to their mother's home, and I know more than one person, ballots, vote by mail ballots, and they never even registered for vote by mail, would come to their mother's home. How many of these 6,600, if that is even the real number, are getting vote by mail ballots that are not necessarily going to get purged from the system.
Right. And then somebody can just fill them out, sign the other person's name. Nobody checks it, and they just put it in a box. They put it in a drop box.
And I'm going to get the exact numbers not correct, but one year, not many years ago, there was a 128-year-old woman who voted, right, by vote by mail ballot. Because the poor thing, I don't know. I mean, either she's a miracle or she had been deceased for some time. Somebody filled out that ballot, right? I mean, it happens all the time. We hear about it. Even in New Jersey, we see instances of people stuffing the ballot box. They had to recall a race not long ago. That was in the last few years because they had video of that taking place. So this is the same thing. If Mikey Sherrill, and again, I'm going to repeat it, this was not under her watch, but now it is. Cleaning the mess up is under her watch. And we need complete and total transparency. Show all of those numbers. Let people take a look at those voter rolls and really see who are these people. There needs to be an independent investigation. They've hired a law firm to investigate that. There needs to be an independent investigation. Let a firm from, representatives from each party, let them stand up and actually witness these numbers and take a look at what was going on, and then figure out how do we stop it in the future. Now, I was told, and I don't have verification of this, that IDEMIA is saying, look, they just provide this data to the election board in New Jersey. Where was it that these people were not just registered to vote, but registered as a specific party? Where did that happen? Did that really happen at the DMV?
Two things. You mentioned something that nobody's asked. This is why I had you on. I knew you would have breaking news today because of who you are. When you register to vote in New Jersey, you have to register by party or non-party affiliation.
Right.
So you asked the question, if these people were registered to vote and they voted, how did they somebody had to choose party registration. So this idea that you just checked a box and you checked if you check no on your box, then you would not go down and check Republican, Democrat, or Independent, because that wouldn't apply to you. So if you check no on the box, what are you registered as?
Correct.
So the system should have spit it out. It's like, well, we don't know what ballot to mail them because we don't know if they're a Democrat or Republican. If they're Republican, you get mailed a Republican ballot. So what party did they? So somebody had to then go back and decide what party they're in.
Correct.
And that wasn't the person that filled it out. If it was indeed an honest mistake, which now the Democrats are saying was a computer glitch, then who filled out their party registration?
Right. Did the computer glitch decide randomly what party you were going to be registered as? I'm not buying it.
Of course
what
not.
I would buy would be the state of New Jersey telling us exactly what that percentage breakdown was, right? And exactly which towns for which years. Because as I said, they're claiming that it didn't impact any races. My own town this year, we had the same exact situation where it got down to a very limited number of votes, a handful of votes. It had to go, there was a recount, right? So it happens all the time. I've seen it in so many towns. Let those towns know so that they can go back and take a look, right? But we really need to get down to the bottom of this and not just believe, and look, this is what really, really exploded my brain, John, was when Mikey Sherrill then turned around and blamed it on Donald Trump, saying that he's done more damage to the voter system in this country than even Vladimir Putin. Like, how? He doesn't look. We all know where the voting process is controlled, and that's at the local and county level, right? It's like I don't know about every state, but I know about New Jersey, and it's at the county level where this is controlled. How is it that Donald Trump was actually able to impact that anywhere? He hasn't been. This is just smokescreen to cover for New Jersey's, corruption. Basically, that's what this looks like. Mm-hmm. We need to know if they're really being honest and saying it was just a computer glitch, then reveal all of the information. How are the supposedly 6,600 registered voters registered, and then how did those 400 vote?
Right, and turn the entire voter roll over to the Department of Justice, which they requested and wouldn't do. And we'll see if it's 6,600 or 35,000 or somewhere in between. They won't do that either. So everybody is like commending Jackie Sherrill for transparency, but it's not transparency.
It's not
She
transparent.
had to have a press conference. She was the state was caught in a fraudulent situation by its own people, so she had no choice. I mean, what was she going to do? Not like ignore it and just say, "Oh, that's not true." Well, the facts are there. So they say, "Oh, she's transparent." She's not transparent because she didn't release anything.
That's correct. She's not sharing the information that the people in New Jersey are entitled to. And to say that their law firm is going to examine this, not good enough. When there's been this kind of a breach, and this is a pretty significant breach in my mind.
Yeah.
Again, how do we know that this hasn't impacted local races? Mm-hmm. It certainly may have. There's plenty that, could be, who knows, the wrong person could be serving in that seat right now. And the person who lost has the right to know that.
As we don't know. And they won't give us the information.
Well, you know what? People in New Jersey have the right to demand that information, and they should be demanding it. It should be, it's the same thing they do, John, at the county level. They have folks that are appointed, and the state gets to make the determination really who's appointed. Each party gets to appoint people that sit on the election board. So that way it's supposed to be fair and transparent because you have different people from different parties. They should be doing the same thing with this investigation and not just having it be a firm that, has preferential treatment from the administration because it's their firm that they're selecting. It wasn't something that was put out to bid, right? They've selected this. Well, there should be people from each party and even representatives from independent, right? People that are not registered as Republican or Democrat. They should have an opportunity to be there as well and observe all of this disclosure that's going on. And that's what needs to happen. I mean, look, it's the same thing in New Jersey. We've got another situation going on there. And I know we were going to focus our discussion on this, but, health insurance, state health insurance for folks that work for municipalities or counties. There have been all sorts of issues for years with municipalities and educational entities, school boards that have not been paying on time. And so that has led to everybody being penalized. I mean, that's another thing where none of this was disclosed, right? And it's only coming out now because for, let's see, either the third or fourth year in a row, this year there's going to be like a 22% increase. Last year, I think it was only 8% because they hadn't increased it for years. But now the last 4 years, there have been astronomical increases, which falls on the taxpayer. It's the same situation, the lack of transparency. Show this information. Let everybody who pays into this system, because not all towns do, but the smaller the town is, or the smaller the entity, the more likely they have no choice because they can't afford another healthcare system for their employees. Right? This is the same thing. It's no different than the lack of transparency on the voting. Open up.
They're coerced into the system and they have no control over the rate increase.
Correct. That's absolutely correct.
It's so corrupt.
So people wonder why their taxes go up. That's why your taxes are going up. Do people think that this whole voter debacle isn't going to cost them any money? This law firm is going to cost a fortune if they have to go back and look at voter rolls.
That's the other thing. Why did she hire her own law firm? Like, I mean, that's like, hiring the fox to, check out who ate the chickens. I mean, why wouldn't you get an independent government agency to come in and do their due diligence? Why are you hiring your own law firm that you're paying?
John, and hide the information.
Exactly.
I mean, look, if they knew that only 400 people out of the 6,600 voted, they know exactly how those people voted. And all they said was, oh, Democrat, Republican, and independent. Show us the numbers. Show it to us.
What is the state of the Republican Party in New Jersey?
Ooh. So the Republican Party has a new chair.
Who's that?
Sometimes it feels like we've got it. Sometimes we feel like the UK. We get a new chair every couple of years.
Who's your new chair?
Like they're like their prime minister. It's I
We'll look it up.
Yeah, no, I know who the chair is. I know who the chair is. But I think my point is that I don't feel like we have a really strong Republican Party in New Jersey right now. I think that it's been a tough place. The voting rolls have changed. The Republican Party has done a very good job of trying to get people registered to vote, and those numbers have definitely increased, but you still have such a wide span between the number of Democrats that are registered versus the number of Republicans that are registered. Obviously this new DMV glitch could have made those numbers even more of a wider span. But, it makes it very tough. We've lost in Morris County alone, we've lost a lot of Republican seats, and you have to wonder why. Is it just because of the voting numbers, or is it because there isn't good leadership in the party? Right?
Look, you have a new leader. I'm going to reach out to him or her. I don't know who it is. It got off my radar screen.
Christine Hanlon.
Christine Hanley?
Hanlon.
And what's her background?
She's the county clerk for Monmouth County.
All right. Well, it could be worse, I guess.
She's a part of the system as well. You look into Monmouth County, look into Ocean County.
What do you find?
Well, folks that say they're for the president, but don't actually, show up when it comes to being for candidates that the president wants people to be for.
Okay, so kind of bait and switch, never Trump.
There's a lot of bait and switch that goes on down there.
I'll look into that. But we'll.
And you and I can talk about that another time. But
yeah, we'll reach out to Miss.
Where is the Republican Party right now demanding to be a part of this process?
I think that's that was my question. I would have thought like they would have jumped on this. So I'm going to reach out to Miss Henley as soon as you and I get off the air, see if I can get her on. I just want to get her thoughts on it. But you would think, to me, the purpose of a Republican Party is to jump on this stuff. That's my beef with the chairman here, DC GOP, which I'm at odds with. He cut me out of everything, threw Ann and I out of the party, and now I'm elected Ward 2 chairman. He can't do anything about us except not allow us to go to the Dallas convention. So we had to get an invite from the Virginia delegation, and we thank Chairman Jeff Ryer for allowing Ann and us to go based on what we've done in Virginia for over a decade of hard work. So thank you, Jeff. My own chairman threw us out. So you got this stuff all going on all over the place, but these state chairmen, when something like this happens, the purpose of the party is to jump on it. Like there should have been a press release immediately, a press conference immediately.
And I'm sure there were statements, John, but that's not the same as taking action.
Right.
Right. And there needs to be more action. Why isn't the party hiring their own attorney and demanding to be a part of that process?
Right.
So that it is fully transparent. Shouldn't both parties have a seat at the table?
Yes.
When they're investigating this. That's how it's done at the county level with the election boards. Both parties have a seat at the table. Why isn't that being done now? Why aren't the towns that were impacted being notified that you had these folks and this number of folks in these parties that voted in your town?
Yes, 100%.
Right.
You've nailed it. In fact, you're really the first person who's come on since this has happened, that's come on the air live and talked about the depth of this voter fraud in New Jersey and the fact that they're not transparent. Everybody came out last night and said, "Oh, look how transparent, Jackie Sherrill is," and wow, and it's just put it behind us. Well, there's not transparent because she hasn't given us any of the facts.
There's not transparency because they haven't really fully disclosed. What was the percentage breakdown in those votes?
Right.
I don't know what it is because they're not sharing that information.
And what towns do they vote in? Now, because if they say there's 600, 500 people that voted, obviously they have that number. So then they know who they are and where they voted. So that breakdown should be there. Well, they didn't give us that.
Correct. Just give us all the information.
Yeah, because we don't know if it was 600 or 6,000. That's really what they're hiding, Chris.
John, they don't know whether it was 6,000 or 35,000. If they didn't know this was going on, how do they know that they've actually done an accurate count?
Good
And what's
point.
the definition for a legal voter in New Jersey? How are they defining it? Right?
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery right now. It's the mystery of the day. We need to get those internet sleuths on this.
Christine Glassner, I want to thank you for your short notice and thank you for being with us. Former candidate, U.S. Senate, New Jersey, former Mayor Mendham, and now a senior official in the Trump administration here in Washington, D.C. By the way, Ann can't wait for your invite to your next outing, she told me.
I tell her.
She wanted me to mention it to you.
Tell her I've been a little busy, so I haven't put one together yet, but she's on the list. And you know what, John? Although it's women only, we'll have you come too.
Oh, I'd love to go. But maybe she just doesn't want me to go. I'll have to ask her. But she actually asked me. I said you were coming on today. She said, "Oh, I love Christine. When's our next outing?" At the I'm not going to say where it is. When's our next outing? I didn't get anything. Ask her.
Tell her I've been busy.
She loves you. All right, Christine. Thanks for being with us. Christine Glassner, senior official, Trump administration, former Mayor Mendham, former U.S. Senate candidate, New Jersey, broke this all down for us in 12 minutes. Extraordinary woman. Thank you, Christine. John Fredericks, Media Network. Your calls when I get back. This New Jersey fraud is a tip of the iceberg, folks. 888-480. John, I want to hear from you. Stay with us.
To Pickaxe Mountain into these tunnels so deeply buried underground in this mountain. Now, Trump isn't saying that he doesn't believe that uranium is at this site yet. Uranium is what's needed to basically make a nuclear weapon.
Correspondent Jonathan Gambrell. The president is preparing to attend a dignified transfer ceremony for 4 American service members recently killed in the Mideast. He'll do so later today, joining family members of the deceased troops at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he has been traveling the country over the past few weeks, says he's heard a lot of concern about the rise of so-called democratic socialism. Johnson says it underscores a dramatic divide between the two big political parties.
Everywhere we go, the American people are seeing and understanding, and they're articulated in their own way, the stark contrast between the two sides. As we say all the time, this is not your father's Democratic Party. The chasm between the two sides and their visions for America and what we believe, our principles, our priorities, our platforms, has never been more divergent than it is right now.
The GOP-led House has passed a temporary government funding bill 2 months early, aimed at averting a possible election season government shutdown. Gulf Coast communities filling sandbags, closing beaches before Tropical Storm Bertha brings flooding and powerful winds from the Florida Panhandle to Louisiana. Dow futures down 106 points. NASDAQ futures off 248. Townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at 2 different options, debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
Visitors are again being given access to a French cultural landmark.
In Paris, the Louvre's Apollo Gallery has reopened to the public for the first time since $102 million worth of crown jewels was stolen in a dramatic daytime heist. The public can tour the majestic rooms and view its gilded ceilings and Greek frescoes en route to the nearby Mona Lisa, but they won't see any crown jewels or empty display cases. The collections and precious jewels once displayed there have been removed. The museum explains the gallery is returning to its 17th century original ceremonial purpose. The stolen jewels remain unrecovered 9 months later, I'm Charles Philippesma.
President Trump has reportedly approved an agreement with Saudi Arabia that could potentially provide the kingdom with uranium enrichment capability for its civilian nuclear program. News and analysis at townhall.com. Federal judge has approved a $1.5 billion copyright settlement involving AI company Anthropic.
The company will pay thousands of authors about $3,000 per book for using pirated copies to train its Claude chatbot. A district court judge ruled on Monday the settlement provides meaningful relief to affected authors and publishers. The case began when best-selling novelist Andrea Bartz and two other authors filed the suit in 2024. Plaintiff attorney Justin Nelson calls it, quote, the largest known copyright recovery in history. Bob Agnew reports.
Nicolas Maduro returns to a New York courtroom today as his lawyers continue their objections to the U.S. military action that snatched Venezuela's dictator from power. Maduro is now being held in a Brooklyn jail facing drug trafficking charges. Maduro and his wife have pleaded not guilty to those drug-related charges. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Trouble concentrating or recalling information is frustrating, embarrassing, and kills productivity. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created Focus and Recall to boost your brain power. Unlike other supplements that don't work, Focus and Recall is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra absorption of science-backed ingredients to help you immediately sharpen focus, concentrate longer, and strengthen recall. Go to healthycell.com and use code Godzilla for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code Godzilla.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98. Queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So, what if you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The ingredients studied in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're not as hungry. But listen, Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Get started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to takelean.com and enter the code Godzilla for your discount. That's discount code Godzilla at takelean.com.
And they're off.
This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
You hear a lot about weight loss injections because the results are dramatic, but injections aren't for everyone. So doctors created a new generation weight loss supplement. This is non-prescription lean, and the science behind it is impressive. The studied ingredients in lean are intended to address weight loss in 3 powerful ways: help maintain healthy blood sugar, help control appetite, and help convert fat into energy so you burn it faster.
Get 20% off with discount code Godzilla at takelean.com. Code Godzilla at takelean.com.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who loves the smell of napalm in the morning, John Fredericks.
Well, it's great to have you here in the John Fredericks Media Network, trucking truth across America. Thanks for joining us, as always. Hey, this segment brought to you by my good friend, Mike Lindell, has the endorsement of Donald Trump for governor for the Republican nomination. That primary is coming up August 11th. Lindell is going to win this race and be the Republican gubernatorial nominee from the state of Minnesota. It's going to be so much fun following his campaign. I want to thank Mike for all he does. Right now, he's got a super duper mega sale going on MyPillow. Slippers, Giza sheets, pillows, pillowcases, comforters, blankets, pet stuff, you name it. He's got socks. Right now, I'm wearing the MyPillow socks. That's the only socks I wear is MyPillow socks. Wear it with my suit, wear it when I'm working out, wear them wherever I go. I love the MyPillow socks. That's all I wear. MyPillow slippers are all I wear. My whole home outfitted with MyPillow mattress topper, sheets, comforters, blankets, you name it. We got it. It's all right there. You concerned about affordability? Mike Lindell is your price buster of all time. He's going to outfit your whole home. Now, great gifts. You got kids going to college. You got them going back to the dorms. You're going to ship them off, grandkids or whatever. Time to get them some stuff for their dorms. This is the time right now. This is the greatest sale ever. Mega sale. Just go to mypillow.com, Do it now and save tons of money. Grandkids going, kids going, they're going to college. Do they have a pillow? Do they have a pillow? Okay, do they have Giza sheets? Do they have a mattress topper on this stupid dorm bed that's been there for 30 years? Right, get a mattress topper for that. Do it. Save money, free shipping. Do it now. Thank me later. And if you don't have the slippers, well, quality of life, you're just depriving yourself. The slippers, as soon as I get home and I'm done for the day, I had an event last night, got home, long day, 13 hours, 14 hours, right? Get the office at 5:30, got home at 7:30. I don't know how many hours that is. 14. First thing I did, take off my suit and put on my MyPillow slippers. So cool. And right now, $29.98. You're not going to beat this deal ever in the history of the world. Just go to mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. Everything is there. Mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. Call them. Operator standing by. 800-854-0504. 800-854-0504. You are good to go. Okay. Phone lines open this segment. We're kind of fired up about it because we got this New Jersey fraud. We got a lot to talk about today, Dan. And let's get to cut 12 next, Dan. Here's a Michigan voter. This is why we're going to win the midterms, okay? I'm just going to be candid. This is why we're going to win the midterms. Now, it's starting to shift. People are now starting to understand what the Democrats have nominated, what the socialists are, what the communists are, what they're going to do to you. They're now getting it, right? It's taken a while to sink in, right? They've gotten all the headlines. They're going to win Washington, D.C. Even if I was running for mayor here, most I'd get is 35%, no win effort. Okay, maybe the next time. But people are starting to get it. They're starting to figure it out. Let's go to cut 12. Here's a Michigan voter saying, no, I don't think so. I'm a Democrat.
Lippitt sees al-Sayed as part of a broader, troubling Democratic shift.
The socialist drift of the party and the hardline and somewhat radical positions that they take are not good for the state or good for the country.
That is just the sliver, okay? Democrats are going to start to see these people for what they are, communists destroying their nation. They want to overthrow the country, overthrow the Constitution, get rid of the Senate, get rid of the president. And it's too much. And so we're going to get there, okay? This is why I'm so bullish on the midterms. Now, let's get back to this New Jersey fraud, which I think is the biggest story of the day. No doubt about it. 5 days after President Trump's speech, where all the Democrats mocked it, here's David Urban saying, wait a minute, if non-citizens can vote in New Jersey, well, where's this end? Is this just the little itty-bitty tip of a very massive iceberg that we've been saying since 2020? Roll it. Cut 14, Dan.
Yes. Democrats can't keep coming on TV and saying this never happens. There are not undocumented immigrants voting in elections. Well, here's case one of it happening. It's happening in New Jersey. Guess it's happening in other states as well. So you can't say it with such definitive certainty these days.
Yeah, you think. But now here's Andy Kim. Let's get to cut 13. Here's Andy Kim saying, oh, there's nothing to see here. We got it under control. It was a computer glitch. But you just heard from Glassner, Christine Glassner, Senate candidate there, who said, wait a minute, if it's a computer glitch, in order to vote in New Jersey, you have to be registered by party. You have to pick Republican, Democrat, or Independent. Otherwise, you can't get a ballot. So what did they pick? And did somebody pick it for them? Another question not answered. No matter what Andy Kim says, we're not at the bottom of this. This is why they're freaked out, because they know the gig is up. Number 13, take a look.
I want to ask you about something, big news out of your state today. The governor of your state, Mikey Sherrill, announcing that under previous administration, actually, this happened back in 2023, there had been a kind of glitch in software for the automatic voter registration through the state's Department of Motor Vehicles that had accidentally shunted about 6,000 non-citizens onto the voter rolls as citizens, 6,600. Of those, there were about 400 non-citizens who've cast votes in elections across several elections. Now, we should note that this is out of like millions and millions of New Jerseyans. So this is still tiny. But it does represent a pretty big screw up and probably the largest breach of this kind that I could ever cover. What was your reaction to seeing that news today?
Yeah, I heard about it for the first time today as well. And I have to say, look, I mean, this is unacceptable. And this needs to be fixed immediately, and people need to be held accountable for that, especially if they've known this since it's happened a couple years ago. So, yes, when there are mistakes, when there are things that are broken, we need to fix it. But we also need to make sure that we're looking at the problems in the right size, that this is not akin to what Donald Trump was talking about. Yes, this is something that needs fixing, but it's not this widespread systemic problem that Trump has been using and weaponizing to try to push forward a very extreme agenda when it comes to deterring voters and other things that he's been trying to push on with his conspiracy theories and delusions about winning the 2020 election. But yes, it's certainly something that we need to fix. And I've been pushing to make sure that we're upgrading our voter equipment and ballots all across the country. We need to make sure we're protecting it from cybersecurity and other issues like that. So those are things we need to make sure we're pushing hard on.
Yeah, I should note one more thing, which is that as far as we can tell, the distribution of party registration was essentially even, sort of across Republican, Democrat, and Independent. Again, we're talking about 400 people out of millions and millions and millions of New Jersey votes cast. So the idea that there's some sort of secret stash of non-citizen Democrats, overwhelming the polls, I think once again, very much belied by the actual data here. You have a new proposal on the health insurance front. Now, one of the things that's interesting.
Continue to spin it. Continue to spin it. If they're registered evenly, Republican, Democrat, or Independent, who did that? The computer didn't do that. the computer might have glitched non-citizen, but somebody had to fill in the party registration. This is the buried headline. Who filled in the party registration? And how do we know there's only 400? And how do we know it didn't matter? And how do we know it's insignificant? And how do we know there's not more? And how do we know any of this? But they want to go on and blame Trump like it's Trump's fault. Spinning conspiracy theories. No, he said there were illegals voting, and now we know there are. The number is irrelevant because you lie about everything, so you're lying about this too, because all you do is lie. Let's get to Killer Carl, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Killer Carl, you're live. Hey, great to see you and your lovely wife at our suite on Saturday. Hope you had a good time.
John, I had a blast. I got to tell you, Ann is the most kind, warm woman in the world. So welcoming. You definitely married up, brother.
I've been saying that for years. Thank you.
Absolutely. I had a blast. Everybody's upset at the Democrats, but really, we should be upset at the feckless loser GOP senators that refuse to pass the SAVE Act because they've known that this has been going on. This is not a secret. They know it's going on, and they refuse to take action. And so everybody should be lighting up the phone lines of your feckless loser senators right now.
Oh, they're cowards.
Them,
I would like to hear. I would like to hear from Murkowski, Collins, Thune, every one of them. What about this? Why can't you pass the SAVE Act so you don't have that? Because if you had to show ID to vote in New Jersey, you couldn't have voted because they don't have ID because they're not legal citizens.
And I checked into my hotel. What do you think I had to show?
ID.
My ID. So am I disenfranchised because I got to show my ID? When I came to Colonial Downs, I had to show my ID. Open up a bank account. You have to show your ID. By the way, to apply for public assistance, you have to show your ID. So this excuse that we constantly get from the Democrats and the Republicans, it's just a ridiculous excuse, And from the beginning, from when Trump was sworn in to now, we've seen the GOP slow walk all of his legislation. Everything he wanted to get through, they have slow walked, and now they're treating him like a lame duck president. That's exactly what they're doing. They have no intention on passing the SAVE Act, and if they do pass it, it's going to be too late to implement it. It's disgusting. It really is. People, light up the Senate's phones today. Everybody listening, after John's show ends, get on the phone and light them up.
Do you agree with me that they want to lose?
They do, John. It's obvious. They don't want to take it. You know what? In politics, second place pays just as much as first place. That's the way they look at it. As long as they can maintain their Senate seats, these rhino losers, as long as they can maintain their Senate seats, they can go on Fox News and they can cry and whine why they can't get stuff done, right? Give us power the next time and we'll do this and that. Everybody asks themselves one question. Did you ever hear Nancy Pelosi say she can't get something done because she had a slim majority? No, she got it done. You didn't hear Chuck Schumer say it either. They just got it done. The GOP are the only ones that go out there and they make up these excuses of why they can't get things done. Because they don't want to. They don't want change. They want things to go back the way they were. They're waiting Trump out, and George Bush wants his party back. That's exactly what you're seeing right now. Exactly what you're seeing. And they're going to install Lindsey Graham's sister. This is what concerns me about the midterms, John. I know you're optimistic, but I can tell you one thing. Nobody's excited about going out and voting for Lindsey Graham's sister, but they're going to install her. They're going to install her as the candidate because John Thune likes her and Tom Cotton like her. That's exactly why. The fact that those two are excited about her, that's a hard no for me, right there.
Me too.
But here we are.
Look, I'm not in favor of her. I wasn't in favor of her getting appointed in the first place. I don't believe in nepotism. I get the mourning thing. I get it. Go mourn for your brother. I'm sorry he passed. I really am. I'm sorry. But we got a country to run, and we're hanging by a thread. And I want a fighter in there. I want a Pam Evitt. I want a Ralph Norman. I want somebody that's going to fight for us that I know is going to vote for the SAVE Act, vote to get rid of the filibuster. I don't know if she's going to do any of it. She's never answered a question. She did 2 softball interviews on Fox News, TV for stupid people. Oh, would you like a hot cup of coffee or a cold soft drink? I'm sorry about your brother. Tell me about your family. Nobody asked her, are you going to vote to get rid of the filibuster? Yes or no. Are you going to vote to fire the parliamentarian? Yes or no. Are you going to vote for the SAVE Act? Yes or no. What are you going to do to get it done? Yes or no. How do you stand on the Iran war? Are you going to vote for funding? Yes or no. Nobody has asked that question. When somebody asked about the SAVE Act, she said, I'm not here to answer questions. Then she goes on Fox News and does 2 powder puff softball interviews that told you nothing. So the chamber is a joke. It's soupy sales on steroids. The Republican conference is a clown car. It's silly. And now she made it sillier. So I'm 100% with you on that. And I break with the president on this. We need serious people in the Senate that are going to fight for us and fight for MAGA and develop MAGA 2.0. She ain't it. Nice lady, great wife, great mom, great person, yay. So's my wife, and she's not going to the U.S. Senate either, okay? So I'm not interested. Give me a fighter. Give me somebody I can trust. Give me a Pam Evitt who's been standing in the gap on this stuff for years, who sat there in the chamber, in the State House, trying to get that gerrymandered seat vote done, who went on TV, who did press release. Give me Joan of Arc who stands in the gap. Don't give me somebody that has done nothing, and all of a sudden we're going to just nominate her, and now she's a U.S. Senator for life. The hell's that do? It could, maybe she'll be great. Look, I don't know, Carl. Maybe she'll turn out to be the greatest MAGA senator in history. Or maybe she'll turn out to be Amy Coney Barrett of the Senate. I don't know. I don't want to roll the dice. Know what I'll roll the dice on? I'll bet a baseball game tonight. I'm going to bet the Astros over the Marlins because the Marlins are losing every day. 7 in a row. Bad as the Astros are, at least they win 2 games a week. Marlins are losing. What's my risk? $50. That's my risk. Do I want to risk a Senate seat with a slim majority where I don't know in perpetuity how she's going to vote on anything? Hell no. Not doing it. I'm also going to bet the Nationals. Don't ask me why. Okay. Because Colorado's equally as pathetic. Why would you roll the dice on this? It's nuts. So I'm with you 100%. So you got me fired up there, Carl. Anyways, good to see you at the suite. Thanks for coming. We'll definitely have you back. And glad you walked away a winner. Good job. Did better than I did. I had a dreadful day. Carl, thank you. Great with you guys just betting. When you bet, I only bet to win. And when you get 3 seconds in a row, both leading down the stretch, lost by a neck, lost by a head, lost by a nose, 3 in a row, you're just not going to have a good day. It's just the way it is, dude. All right. Thank you, Carl. Rob, New York, line 1. Rob, you're live.
Good morning, John.
Yo.
And I got to tell you, this is an honor to follow up after Killer Carl because I haven't heard his voice in a very long time.
I know,
so
Carl. You
I'm
need to
glad
call
hear
in, Carl. He's on Saturday at 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's just that the sun's just not a good time for me. But otherwise, I should catch the replay on Getter. But he's a good dude. I've talked to him several times when he's filled in for you, and I got a connection to Allentown. But anyway, long story short, it's great that you had Christine Serrano Glasser on because I agree with you. That is such a huge story. And I'm hammering my New Jersey friends because I have ties to New Jersey. I have family in New Jersey, and New Jersey's not that far from where I stand right now.
Sure.
This is going on all over. And this is what you're exactly right. This is what we've been talking about. And Trump was mocked. And I made this point this morning to someone I was talking to. I said, think of all the things that Trump was mocked on. We just had another Canadian wildfire incident that blew all that soot down and stuff down here. Do you remember when Trump was mocked when he said we should rake the forest floors? They thought that was funny. I'm like, how is cleaning out the underbrush and managing your forests better funny? Trump warned about giving your energy security, talking about the Europeans, to Putin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why do you think Europe and NATO didn't raise a finger to help Ukraine? Because Putin would have shut their gas off.
Mm-hmm.
So stop betting against this guy. Yes, we'll break with him on some things. This Lindsey Graham's sister, I initially supported it because I figured why not give him, honor him that way, let him finish out the term. But now she wants to throw her hat in there and Trump's behind it. Well, she's got to compete in a primary. I think Pam, that is way better. I learned about her from your show. That woman at least has a lot of executive experience, in the corporate world and in government. Or maybe McMaster wants to run. I don't know that much about him, but at least the guy's held office before. So these are things, okay, we'll break on that with Trump. But a lot of the times, don't bet against this guy. And stop treating, and this is a message to all Republicans out there, stop letting our leaders treat Trump as a lame duck. Because you do that, we're going to lose this country. Because you'll get people who won't show up, and then we'll wonder how we have Mandamis running around all over the place, like what Steve Bannon warned about. You start getting that into some major cities, you're going to wake up one day, everywhere you look, you're going to be run by communists and jihadists. Unbelievable.
Dude, I mean, they're at the gate, right? Go see the movie Odyssey. Trojan horse coming in. That's how they win a 10-year war. Always good to talk to you, Rob. All right, who we got on? We're going to play a Mandami clip when I get back. We've got Nancy in South Jersey. Ooh, we got the Northeast connection going. We got Killer Carl in Pennsylvania. We got Nancy in South Jersey. We got Johnny in Monmouth County. We got Rob in New York. It's the Northeast connection. Hey, it's kind of where I grew up, right? Northern New Jersey, New York. It's all good. Can't get that New Jersey twang on me. Sometimes I'll meet somebody and they'll say, "You're from Jersey, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." You just can't get it out. All these years in the South, I just couldn't get rid of it. All right, guys, we'll be back in a moment. Nancy on deck, Jersey. Keep it right here.
That adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Van Hillary has fought for America before, and he's ready to do it again. As an Air Force navigator in Desert Storm, Van's mission was simple: chart the course, stay on mission. When he came home to Tennessee, he won an election nobody thought a Republican could win. Then he did it again and again. For almost a decade, America First conservative Van Hillary has fought the radical left, stood with President Trump, and never folded, securing our border, cutting taxes, and bringing jobs to Tennessee.
Radical Democrats are trying to hijack our country. President Trump needs a conservative fighter who knows how to win. I'll keep fighting to help President Trump finish what he started, keeping our border secure, growing our economy, and destroying the woke agenda. I'm Van Hillary, and I approve this message because I'm standing with President Trump to get America back on mission.
America First conservative Van Hillary. He's never folded, and he never will. Paid for by Van for Tennessee.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
Don't touch that dial. You've found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Look, these tickleheads, y'all just don't fall for this stuff anymore. Really? I mean, come on. At this point, elections have all kinds of things that happen in them. And I really want to get ahead of this story before the tickleheads that I just referred to from the president on down start to frame this as, see, we told you the system was broken and corrupt.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, right. It is not. It is not. Let us be clear. It is not broken, nor any corruption. This is the process at work. The system caught the mistake. The system ferreted it out, right? They identified the voters. They did what it was supposed to do. And I think, we cannot take every little bit and turn it up and to make it more than it actually is. The system is different in every state. You will find mistakes in every state, and every state from the Secretary of State on down has a process to deal with the correction. So I just wanted to put that on the table because we know the stupid is about to enter the ether, and we want everyone to be clear-eyed and clear-head when they're talking about this and understand, Luke, exactly what we're talking about.
All right, it's good to have you back. It's all nonsense. I mean, we found illegals on the voting rolls that are voting. We don't even know how they got there. There's no glitch. Somebody checked, independent Democrat or Republican. The DOJ says 35,000. Jackie Sherrill says 6,600. They say 400 people voted. They didn't tell us where. They didn't tell us when. We don't know what's 400, 40,000, 4,000. No one knows. This is only one state. This is rampant. And here they are all spinning it as a computer glitch. Okay, they mocked the president after his speech, and he was 100% right. I mean, and Jackie Show's transparent. Well, what else choice did you have? It was news. What was she going to do? Deny it? So then she blames Trump, says, well, it's a conspiracy theory. Well, no, you got people voting in your state that are illegal, that are not citizens, that are voting in federal elections. And you can't even tell us who, where, what, when, how they got registered, what party they're from, and somehow we're supposed to just blow this off and say it's insignificant. The question of the day is, who checked the box on what party they are from? That's number two. Number one. The second question is what Scott Jennings said to that abitard, okay, libtard, right? What is your tolerance? What is your level of tolerance for voter fraud? 1%, 2%, 50%? But as long as and you can bet 100% of these people voted for the Democrat candidate because they're giving them money. So this is their vote base. This is their constituents. They don't want the constituents to be exposed. This is their future power is right there in Jersey in these illegal voters. This is why they let them in the country. This is why they had open borders. This was all from the Democrats from day one. This was about votes, getting cheap votes. And the Chamber of Commerce played footsie with them and looked the other way in the unholiest alliance ever made in America between the Chamber of Commerce and the Democratic Party on open borders. Chamber of Commerce got cheap labor. Democrats got cheap votes. That was the unholy alliance of history. That nobody's pointed that out but us over 15 years since I've been on the air. I went on CNN and said it, they fired me. And I was right. Chamber of Commerce has been in bed with open borders and with the Democrats forever for one thing. They get cheap labor, Democrats get cheap votes. That's it. And now you're seeing it play out. This is why they didn't close the border. This is why 20 million people came in. Right there, what you saw in Jersey is a sliver of what they've done. This is their future. They can't win with regular Americans voting because they reject their nonsense. So what do they have to do? Like Obama said, change the country. He said, give me 30 million new people, I'll transform America. You'll never recognize it. That's their goal. Phone lines open, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Nancy, South Jersey, live. Go.
Good morning, John. Explain to me the difference between Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill. There is no difference. Neither of them care about their states. Neither of them really represent their constituents. They're climbers. They're there for the party. And I just wish voters would wake up and realize that when you're voting for governor, if you're just going to go down a party line, you're selling your family out and your state out. We have a terrible Republican candidate for governor this time around, and he was the same last time, but it didn't mean we had to put her in. So I just want to put that to bed. She knows darn well how all of the illegals got on the voter rolls. We've got motor voter in this state. Biden gave everyone Social Security numbers and driver's licenses, not him personally, but he allowed it. His administration would just look the other way. Oh, it's a state issue. State has to deal with that. At the bottom line for me is I don't want elections federalized, but we don't really have elections right now. Something has to be done. I'm a little frustrated that Tulsi Gabbard got pushed off to the side. I'm still not buying husband was sick, have to be with him. I think she was making some headway. I know Trump's a master strategist, and I get it. I know everything's a power play with him. So I'm sure that he has some kind of a plan. But if relying on the Senate and kissing their butts every other day is the plan, it's not going to get the SAVAC pass. Killer Carr was dead on. Best thing I've ever heard him say was his talk with you today, John. We can blow up the phone lines all we want. Let's call all our senators. I got 2 woke liberal senators in my state. Calling them ain't going to help me all that much. You want to keep blowing up phone lines, fine. That's not the answer either. I think Trump needs to throw it down. He's so busy outside of this country. He is so busy trying to sort of reorder the world, and I love him for it. I think it's great. I just wish somebody else was doing it and he could focus on America. He wants us to believe that he's focused on America, and he wants us to listen to the sound bites and all his posts on Truth Social promising that things are going to happen. Nothing's happening for the better right now for us. Thank God we don't have a Democrat in Kamala Harris as the president. My husband reminds me of that every time I complain. Could have been worse, Nance. Did you want the other option, Nance? No, I didn't. But
Nancy,
I want
what is the crux?
2016.
What is the crux? Let's get to the bottom line here, okay? Because every time you call, your frustration gets worse, right? You're kind of like Anthony in Florida. Trump voter, frustrated, doesn't know what to do, pissed off, doesn't think Trump's doing what he should do.
I think
Outline,
Trump's doing what he should do, but not in the
outline,
right order.
okay. In your opinion, I want you to outline so we understand it. The
Okay. I want
nature,
him back
the
in this
nature of your
country,
frustration.
focused.
What?
Give you my top three because I get these surveys texted to me all the time by the Republicans and the Democrats. Tell me what your issues are. My top three. Number one, I put border and immigration together. Those 20 million people aren't out, and it was way more than 20 million, and they're not going to be out by the time he's done. The numbers are horrendous in terms of how many people we're getting out. Number two, election security is my number two now. It didn't used to be. It is now, because I realize we're not going to get anywhere with our Republican Senate. Our House is a little bit better. Number two. Number three, Trump has blown up our economy, not meaning to and not intending to, and I know he's confident that he's going to just wave his wand, which he does, and get it all back. It's not happening quick enough. He's lost all our kids as voters. I'm just telling you right now. I don't know that they're coming
So we're
back
going
to
to
the
lose.
Republican Party.
So we're done. Okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
basically
So,
every time.
no,
Every
I'm
time
not
you and
saying
Anthony
we're gonna
call,
lose.
every time you and Anthony call, I get the same message. We lost the kids. We lost half our voters. Everybody's staying home. They're voting for the communists. We're going to lose. We're going to get wiped out, and then we're going to be eating out of a garbage can. I mean, that's your guys' view. Okay, let's look at your three things, right? Number one thing you said, let's break this down. Illegal's not getting out fast enough. Okay, he's got an army of ICE agents. The Democrats are fighting him tooth and nail. States are overturning whatever they do. They're trying to get people out. We're trying to recruit them. We can't get them out fast enough. We had the incident in Minnesota. We had to deal with that. Now we got an incident somewhere else where, they shot somebody fleeing in a car. Another guy got hit by a truck, right? So they got to deal with that in Texas. But we're trying every day to deport people. So it's not happening fast enough. I don't know what else he could do. He would have to hire 1 million people and just round everybody up. And the country's not going to stand for that because they want them out, but then they don't want to see them, how they get out. So, I mean, he's deported about 1 million, I think, 990,000, half of what we want, but he's trying. Okay, then you said the second thing, he's, doing a new world. He's reshuffling the world order to make us safe in the future. Okay, and that's hurting the economy. Okay, I get it. In the short term, no doubt. So you're frustrated about that. Jobs are up, wages are up, stock market is up, economy is booming, new business booming, consumer confidence up, but you're upset because gas is high and groceries high. I get it, right? You go to the store, you deal with it every day. It sucks. I get it. Okay, I understand. Hopefully that'll come down. If not, yes, we're going to get wiped out. But he's trying to do it. Economically, he's doing all the right things. We've got a new Fed chairman in, jobs, wages, income, all up, record levels, unemployment tanking, basically people opening up businesses all over the place. Doesn't affect you. You're not opening up a business. I get it, right? But economy is up, except you got to get affordability down. So prices were higher under Biden. Gas was higher under Biden. But now that it's not low enough, now we're going to put the Biden people back so we can get higher again. I mean, it makes no sense. And then the third thing, what was the third thing you mentioned, right? The war. Okay. Would you rather them have a bomb and be deploying it in Tel Aviv and Doha and holding the entire world hostage? He didn't go in this thing because he felt like it. He went into this thing because our intel, not Mossad, not Netanyahu, our intel told the president they were days or weeks too close for comfort for deploying a nuclear warhead, and they've been at war with us for 50 years, and they were going to use it. And then they were going to control everything because they had they could get multiple nuclear warheads to basically bottle up the entire Middle East and start dropping nuclear bombs on countries. The hell we would be then? So the president took action. No, nobody else took it. He did. And for that, we're going to punish him by either staying home or voting for the communist. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry your gas is $3.50. It sucks. Nancy, I don't get it. We've lost our kids. Well, the kids got more opportunity now than they've ever had. Jobs are plenty. Jobs are out there. Small businesses expanding. You got more opportunity for our kids than ever. Oh, the Epstein files. Okay, big mistake. Should have released them all. I agree with you on that. Maybe that's number 5. But Nancy, I hear from you and Anthony every day. I don't know, what is the alternative? And this idea that, Trump's not done what he said. This has been the most amazing president in history. Epstein files was a mistake. Should now release them all. But I don't get it. I'm sorry, Nancy. We're going to have to agree again to disagree. I mean, there's doom and gloom, and we all suck, and we're all going to get beat, and it's all a disaster, and Trump's in a war, and it's just a war of choice, and gas is too high, and, eggs are too high. Okay, we're trying to get it down. I mean, he's trying to get interest rates down. He just got a housing bill in. I mean, he's got Trump accounts for young people. He's done all these things. The one big, beautiful bill. You paid less taxes, Nancy. There's no way you paid higher taxes. You paid less taxes. Anthony paid less taxes. We all paid less taxes. Now he's trying to get our taxes gone in D.C. He's fighting that. I mean, I get it's not perfect. I get it, but we have an equal degree of frustration. You and I, Nancy. And I'm going to give you the final word, as I always do. But our frustration is exactly parallel and equal. You on one side, we're not doing enough. Me on the other side, I think we're doing great. And it's not perfect. So we have equal frustration. I'm going to give you the final word. Go ahead.
All right, John, I was trying to get a word in the midst of all that. You put a lot of words in my mouth because I didn't say half of what you said. I said maybe Anthony said it. I didn't say it. And if you're hearing doom and gloom, you're hearing the reality on the street of how we feel about what our expectations were with Trump coming back to us and what we're getting. You told me all along, give it till June, give it till July. We're in July now, John, and I gave it. I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not saying don't vote. Nobody's going to stay home because everybody realizes we don't have to fear the Democrats now. We've got to fear Islam and all this other stuff, the whole socialist movement. Nobody's going to stay home, and that's not what my call was about. I was actually calling to express my frustration about the Senate, but it's like a broken record. I didn't even feel like I should go there because Killer Cara killed it. I think Trump works behind the scenes so much that he's lost sight of us to have to keep us updated. He throws us little tiny carrots and bones. I'm not saying things aren't going to turn around. John, you can't deny there's been a huge number of large company bankruptcies in this state or in this country for all the good that the economy's doing and for all he's trying to do to bring business in. We've got him for another 2 years. What's going to happen after that? They're fighting tooth and nail now because they know he's effective. We get some crony Republican in there next time around. It's not going to be the way it is now. Trump's got the power. He's the only one that can save us right now. And I want the focus to be on that. Maybe it is on that, and I'm just not seeing it because he's so busy doing it behind the scenes, we don't know about it. And I believe that about him. I do believe he does that. And you were talking about Lindsey Graham's sister. The only reason they want her in, and they is the movement, right? The deep state, whatever you want to call them, because she'll be controllable. If he lets her get in there, there's a reason. I have a feeling that she's not going to get in there full time. I have a feeling he's got a plan. So we have to separate Trump from the Republicans. Trump's his own movement. He's also his own political party, in my opinion. I call myself a Republican because he calls himself a Republican. All is not lost, and that is not my message. And I get frustrated with you when you get frustrated with me. You're one of the few programs that we can call and talk the reality to because you're a man on the street. It's why I love you. I don't even listen to anybody else, John. I don't listen to Bannon anymore. Nobody. I stopped listening to Poso. Everybody I used to listen to. You are it for me. So don't get frustrated with me because you don't like what I'm saying and you feel like I'm a broken record. I call because I don't see what I need to see on the street. And my fear isn't that we're going to lose. I think we probably are going to lose the midterms, but that's not my fear. My fear is what happens after Trump. Is he going to stay behind the scenes? Is he going to be like Obama and hang around and still run the show? I'm fine with that. I'm fine if he runs for a third term. I'm going to vote for him again. I've not given up, and that's not my message. My message is I wish I could have put a phone call into him. Get your feet back on the street with us and work all your magic around the world behind the scenes. Reverse what he's doing. Make us the center of attention and take care of business worldwide behind the scenes instead of having us behind the scenes and reordering the world front and center.
Makes sense. I see where you're coming from. Stay on the line. Let's add in Tim in Virginia. Tim, you're on with John and Nancy.
Yeah, good morning, John. My name is Tim, but I'd rather just do away with the Tim because I hate my first name because it's Tim Waltz, so I go by MAGA T.
All right, MAGA T.
Anyhow, I just think, looking up the definition of treason and knowing the Congress and all the politicians that we have, it seems like they're all there. Every time Trump tries to do something, they're all there with their arms folded and standing in his way. And I just wish that there was some way that they could all be convicted of treason. And to me, they deserve the death penalty. And I know that's a hard line, but when you look up treason and look at the definition, and it's anybody that aids an enemy or makes them comfortable, and that's all our Congress is doing right now. It's like they're just completely against the people.
Well, it's the Senate that's the problem. It's when you say Congress, you're lumping in the House. I don't see Mike Johnson in being part of this. It's not even the Democrats because the Democrats are who they are, MAGA T. It's really about it's about the Republican conference in the Senate led by John Thune. That's what it is. And Nancy, call back. I'm sorry, Dan lost your call by mistake, so he just figured it out what to do. So Nancy, call back 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646, so you can respond to Tim here. But listen, MAGA T, you're right. I mean, this is all about the Senate and the fact that they're feckless losers that won't do anything, and they won't fire the parliamentarian, and they won't get rid of the filibuster, and they won't bring the SAVE Act to the floor, and they won't do anything. And they're riding out Trump's term. This is what we've been saying for a year now. They're just waiting for him to go away, and then they can bring back Jeb Bush, Nancy Bush, this Bush, that Bush, Joe Bush, Jeb Bush. They all want to go back to Bush, Roe, Romney, McCain. That's what their comfort level is. Feigned opposition. Go back on Fox News every day, get Comer back on with his shoe phone, his shoe camera, like Get Smart. That's their comfort level. Doing something frightens them to death. That's why we've had no appointments. They won't do a recess. They're playing to lose. Okay? They're playing to lose. And that's the frustration that all of us are having. MAGA T, go ahead.
I work with people that want communism, so it's obvious they do not understand what communism is. And it just makes me aggravated because I'm I'm in an office with about 7 or 8 other people at work, and I'm the only one, well, myself and one other person, that are MAGA. And I just can't believe that much of a majority here in our little office, wants communism. They told us that the other countries just haven't figured out how to do communism correctly. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? It just amazes me how the leftoids have just believed everything they've been told.
They've indoctrinated our kids for 50 years, and it finally, they got 50% plus one. But I'm the eternal optimist. I just, and maybe I'm biased because, I talk to I got one younger son, 22, and his friends, they're all athletes. And there's not one of them I've met over 2 universities playing college athletics. I've yet to meet one that didn't vote for Trump, not one. So, and Maryland isn't exactly the hotbed of, conservative thought, right? West Virginia, yeah, okay, I got that. Maryland's not. Nobody there voted for Harris. I mean, so all these kids out there, it's not the athletes. I don't know who the hell it is, but it's not the kids in our world. They're all Christians and Catholics and practicing Jews and stuff like that, and they all voted for Trump. So I don't get it, but we'll see what happens. Maggie T, thank you for the call. Peach Crew next.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rex Thomason. Iran's neighbors are on a high state of alert as the U.S. and Iran continue exchanging fire. Diplomatic efforts to end the war languish. Both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia warn of Iranian missile attacks. Secretary of State Rubio says that allowing Iran to control the all-important Strait of Hormuz would send the wrong message to potential adversaries around the globe.
If we create a precedent in the Middle East where a nation state can decide that they are going to control an international waterway, charge a toll, and if you don't pay them, blow up your ships, we have created a very dangerous precedent which will repeat itself in other parts of the world, including in this region. So what is at stake here is not simply the issue of what's happening in the Straits of Hormuz. It's a very fundamental principle about freedom of navigation.
The war has strained global energy supplies, and Iranian-backed Houthi rebels are also threatening Saudi oil tankers. AAA's national average for a gallon of regular gasoline, $4.06. This morning, it's up about a nickel from yesterday. President Trump is not closing the door entirely on diplomacy in the Mideast.
While sitting alongside Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, President Trump said he would be willing to speak with Hezbollah as part of an effort to bring greater peace and stability to the Middle East.
But I would speak to Hezbollah. Yeah. I speak to everybody. I'll speak to people that a lot of people think I shouldn't be speaking to, and things work out. I would say this, if the president wanted me to speak to Hezbollah, he's lived with Hezbollah for a long time. And if the president wanted me to speak to Hezbollah, I would.
Hezbollah remains a U.S.-designated foreign terrorist organization. Willie Nelson, the White House.
People along the Gulf Coast most familiar with the drill: fill the sandbags and batten down the hatches ahead of a tropical storm. This time, the storm is named Bertha. It's expected to make landfall in Louisiana late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Ahead of this morning's Wall Street opening bell, Dow futures are down 103 points. NASDAQ futures off 287. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Ukraine is pressing its fight with Russia under new military leadership. President Zelensky has fired his army chief of staff following public pressure and has announced his successor.
Making the announcement, the president thanked General Sirski and said a significant path had been traveled. His replacement is the much younger Mihailo Drapati, a man with a distinguished record of his own and, crucially, a friend of the ousted defense minister Mikhailo Fedorov. Mr. Fedorov called his appointment a breath of fresh air and a renewed source of hope. That will go some way towards reassuring thousands of protesting Ukrainians that their voices have been heard. But they will also want to know that Mr. Fedorov, seen as the driving force behind much of the military's recent innovation, will continue to play a central role.
The BBC's Paul Adams. At least 999 people have died from the Ebola outbreak in eastern Congo. A grim toll. It's already been declared the fastest Ebola outbreak in history. News and analysis, townhall.com. Some old satellites getting a new lease on life.
Go Falcon, go MRV, and go MEP.
That's SpaceX rockets taking Northrop Grumman's two-armed space robot into orbit from Cape Canaveral on a private salvage operation to slap life-extending jetpacks on aging communication satellites running low on fuel. Northrop Grumman's mission robotic vehicle, dubbed MRV, and its jetpacks will spend the next year angling into the proper orbit more than 22,000 miles above Earth. I'm Ben Thomas.
OpenAI says its artificial intelligence system went rogue, hacking into another AI company all on its own. AI startup Hugging Face detected an intrusion into its data processing systems. Hugging Face's co-founder confirms that the attack was from an AI agent. He adds that it was mind-blowing that it happened autonomously. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Salty, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on two huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who always says to lace them up and lace them tight, John Fredericks.
No, it's good to be here in the John Fredericks Media Network. Peach Crew coming up. We got Sally Grubbs. President Trump coming to Georgia today, Cobb County. Everybody fired up. We've got Mallory Staples going to be with us. Haven't heard from her in a while. This segment brought to you by the Safer Supervision Act. There's a bill in Congress right now, the Safer Supervision Act. President Trump's pollster said it's supported by 98% of Trump voters. This is basically very simple. If you're on probation and under supervision by a parole officer, and you're doing all the right things, you have a job, you're drug and alcohol free, you're at no risk to the community, then this law allows the parole officer to make a recommendation to the judge to get you off supervision so you can continue to lead a normal life, get job, pay taxes, keep your job, do everything, reassimilate back in society, and reduce recidivism. And then the parole officer has time to go do what he has to do with other people that might be at a higher risk. The Safer Supervision Act fixes all of this. For more information, visit safersupervision.com. Tell your representative, tell your senator to get this done. Visit safersupervision.com. This is paid for by the Reform Action Fund. Okay, we got the Peach Crew up, but let's take a quick phone call. Rob in New York. Rob, you're live.
No, JF, we already got to Rob.
Oh, we did? Okay, I forgot. Then we don't have Rob. I don't know why it was on my list here.
Oh, good. No worries. Yeah, we've had a lot of calls this morning.
My problem. Okay. Let's get to the Peach Crew. Sally Grubbs with us. She's live at a remote location. President Trump coming to Georgia today. Sally, the vice chair of the Republican Party of Georgia. Thanks for being with us, Sally. And back by popular demand, Mallory Staples, the chairman of the Georgia Freedom Caucus. Mallory, great to have you back. You look fabulous. Good to have you with us.
Good morning, John. Hey, Sal. How are y'all doing? I'm so happy to be here.
We're doing great. Sally, tell us where you are. Tell us about the president's visit.
Good morning, John. Yeah, you see me maneuvering around here. I'm in the VIP lot at Wheeler High School in Cobb County, Georgia, and so people are lining up to see President Trump today. So we're doing a little car shuffling here this morning. So I apologize, but it's good to be with you this morning. The line is building and everybody's up. We've got quite a controversy here in Cobb County. The Democrats are upset. Can you imagine? And so they're out there protesting and riding on the sidewalks with chalk and unhappy that President Trump is coming. So it's a lot going on in Cobb County this morning.
So the president's visit, what do you look for at Wheeler High School?
So I believe that the president is going to be talking about the Trump accounts and the opportunity that's been provided to people to be able to save and to take advantage for children of the Trump accounts and to provide for children's education. I really don't understand why the Democrats are having such a problem with this. This is another avenue to provide for the future of our children. I think it's a great thing. I personally have 2 grandchildren that will be able to benefit from that. And this is also a great way for grandparents to be able to help provide for children's futures. And, this is, as a volunteer, I've got this neat little badge, but at the bottom it says trepaccounts.gov, and people can go there and sign up for the opportunity to save some money for their children and grandchildren.
Mallory, what's the mood right now in Georgia, and how do we turn the corner and get a victory, at least in the governor's race in the fall?
The mood is not great. I think the way we get a win is going to be supernatural, quite honestly. In God We Trust has renewed meaning and lands pretty hard right now. In general, I think folks are really tired of bad news, just being honest. I'm not a politician. I don't talk like one. So I just kind of give it to you straight. I think people are exhausted, and truly silver lining. I think they really are looking upward and just feeling like across the landscape of not just Georgia and the United States, but the entire world, that it is in this moment that the God that this nation was founded on, that statistically most of her citizens believe in, is going to be the only way we get out of this. I think the man-made mess that is the political state of the country, I don't even think you can debate it at this point. By and large, our political system is run by narcissistic, self-centered, prideful people whose currency is what betters them, what makes them famous, what lines their pocket, is the state for the most part of our leadership. And therefore you have the fraud, you have the immorality, on every front. I mean, it's nonstop. You can't even really keep up with it. And so when man comes to the end of themselves, they find something greater than themselves. And so what I am hearing is truly the cry of the American heart right now is a trust in God, which, listen, he loves that. He does remarkable, phenomenal things when his people cry out to him. And we are a Christian nation. And like I said, statistically, that is what most people believe, despite the massive importation of people of other belief systems that oppose our country. We're still largely a Christian nation. And so there is a just supernatural hope, I think, that's found in realizing that what saves America is going to be a move of God, and getting back to our faith and what really matters to us, and just cutting through all the mess and looking for, an intervention. And there are a handful of leaders that exemplify and embody the qualities and the characteristics that are godly. And I think people champion those folks hard. I think there's a very high level of distrust for almost everyone else. And so they don't feel heard, but they know that there's a God, that he's good, that his name is Jesus. And I think people are praying, and I think church attendance reflects that. I mean, in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, I mean, this was certainly his message. We've seen an uprising that was just out of that horror, such an honor to his legacy. But I think people are literally looking to God to save the country.
Well, couldn't look to a better place. Certainly can't seem to save it ourselves.
Yeah.
I kind of hear what you're saying. I think you used the word exhaustive. If you look at the Georgia election process, that's been exhaustive. I mean, it seemed like it started, Sally, when Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned, and we had that special in the 14th, and then you had the election, and then you had the primary, and then you had the runoff, and then you had the runoff, the son of the runoff. I don't know what you guys had there, but it seems like the election process in Georgia has gone on for 6 months. And, finally now you have two candidates. It's still going on. And I think there is a level of exhaustion that might have crept into Georgia Republicans. Sally. We lost Sally. So it's just you and me.
You and me, kid.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But I think you're onto something. I mean, there is, and then I think if you look at Georgia, I think the buying of the gubernatorial nomination by Mr. Jackson, I think turned a lot of people off. Whether you were supporting Burt Jones or not, I mean, everybody saw that for what it was. I mean, the guy, although he was involved in a lot of politics in different ways, I mean, he spent millions of dollars. He flooded the zone. He flooded the mailbox. And now all of a sudden he beats Burt Jones and he's the nominee, and nobody really knows how much about him. And then, of course, we have the Senate race, which I don't even think is going to be competitive. So then you get polls out that, show the most disastrous mayor in Atlanta history. I mean, she let the city burn to the ground, didn't back the cops, told them to stand down. The city burned, and now she's got a chance to be governor. So, yeah, I think for people in Georgia, it's like, WTF, right?
It is. It really is. And, I don't hate Rick Jackson, but watching someone step in to the race in that hour when people like Sally and the grassroots have been battling since 2020 to save our elections, what the DOJ and President Trump has now, stated in courts, as fact, people have been shouting since 2020. I mean, Sally was chasing vans down, for ballots. And where were those millions upon millions upon millions of dollars when we needed, billionaires in the fight? We needed to save the state. And so you just question again, motive gets questioned. Like, why? Where did this newfound sense of conscience come from? And so again, it just feeds into that distrust of leaders. We feel like, and rightly so often, we are choosing from the lesser of two evils, or the lesser of two, maybe not even evil, just not wholly impressive people. And I'll be honest, I know a lot of good people, and I beg people to run all the time who have outstanding character and will and humility and selflessness. Unlike most of the people that are in politics, it's to get their face out everywhere with the most famous people they can possibly, whatever. I mean, it's just gross. And we try and get good people to run all the time, and they don't want to step into the muck and mire. They don't want to be raked over the coals, their lives, their families, attacked. It's just the system is so broken. And so it is out of that acknowledged brokenness that I think people are looking to God to save us. And he will get all the glory. If that's what happens, he will get all the glory, and it will be remarkable. And I'm here for it in a front row seat. But to your point, John, there is really, really, you can feel it, not in maybe the upper echelons in the bureaucracy and the whatever, but when you're talking to everyday people, the backbone of this country, people that care deeply and love deeply, they're discouraged, and everyone will have to come together and unify. I mean, the message stings a little, but to have any attempt at, saving a Republican ticket, everybody will have to do what we are often and historically asked to do, which is get behind a candidate that we do not feel wholeheartedly deserves the office, that they do not carry the integrity of the office. However, we will go into that ballot box and we will check next to their name, and we will send them there and cross our fingers. And so I just, people are tired of it. They're tired of the mediocrity They're tired of the shallowness of our elected officials and the people in the fundraising community and all of that. They're just nauseated.
You know, Mallory, to your point, first of all, John, I want to say that I love it when Mallory comes on because, we have Scary Jackie on the show, and I crown Mallory straight no chaser because she will give it to you straight, just, how it is. I think one of the things, just from the bottom of my heart, is, Mallory, one of the issues that I have is that, having, of course, I've not been in politics, so to speak, for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever. But since 2020, you get to a point where it's like, who do you trust? And so I agree with you. Our trust has got to be in the Lord and let Him work things out. We find ourselves in the situation that we're in Georgia. And so I'm just going to trust that we appeal to heaven and we say, Lord, it's a mess and you got to work it out. And I come from it from the election standpoint. It's a mess that we did not get things worked out with the legislature. As far as I'm concerned, they pushed off taking the QR code off the ballots, as you know. That's a big deal for me. We don't have ballot secrecy. It's even worse than what the public knows. It'll be coming out, I'm sure, before long. In watching President Trump in his speech the other day, I was on with Bannon after that, and I could not have been more proud of President Trump and the way he delivered that message, because it was a very much nonpartisan, non-MAGA message. If we don't have fair elections, we don't have a country. And that's the very basic foundation of why I fight so hard for this stuff, is because if we don't have fair elections, we do not have a country. If we don't have a border, we don't have a country. And that's why it's so important to get people into office that understand that, and why we've got to continue the fight in that vein. And that I'm laser focused on that. That's my mission, is fair elections. And the more support that we can get for people to get behind that, the better off we'll be as a country.
Yeah. And the grassroots feel deeply what Sally just said that I interact with. It is an emergency. And, even coming to light just recently, that here in Georgia, we have default voter registration when you go get a driver's license. That's kind of the latest topic right now, which is, partnering with registering folks who should not be registered to vote. And you literally have to opt out. I mean, again, you wake up every day and there's a new holy, whatever, in your news feed at the local, state, federal, and global level. It's just, Jesus, we love you and we need you is really all I can say. I'm so grateful. I mentioned
I think you froze. Sally, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, John.
I mean, look, I think Valerie froze. We'll try to get her back, but I think, Mallory froze. I think what Mallory's saying here, I heard, three things. I heard people are just exhausted.
Sorry.
That's okay. Ricky Jackson purchased the nomination, came from nowhere, really blew the grassroots off. I mean, they've never returned your call. They never returned my call. We have no relationship with any of them. So they're certainly not going to come on and talk to, the peons that listen to my station. That's basically their view, right? They'll reach them in the mail. They don't have really time to engage with, people that are driving around and pick up trucks and don't have a lot of money. Which is basically what our audience is. We're the grassroots working class, so they can't be bothered with us, and they can't be bothered with any of it. They purchased the nomination. If I was there, I'd vote for him. But I think I'm getting what Mallory's saying. There's an exhaustion, and then there's I got to hold my nose again. And I had Bannon on, I think it was Monday, who said, if we lose, it's not going to be because we don't have the voters, it's because we don't have the intensity. And I think that's what Mallory is saying here. There's just a lack of intensity on our side. There's a lot of disappointment, a lot of discouragement. Things are not going well. And so people are now looking for an alternative. And, I look forward to Trump coming to Georgia. But when Mayor Bottoms is ahead in the polls, it's like
Well,
in Georgia,
John, here's the
you just
thing.
gotta
Here's the thing.
shake your head. And Ossoff's up by 10. I mean,
Yeah.
that race is over. So, I mean, there's no way Collins is going to come back and win this race. Ossoff's got $1 billion. I mean, that race is gone. And now you're just trying to win the governor's race. I mean, it's incredible.
So, here's one thing that I love about President Trump and what he built with the MAGA movement is I'm looking out here in the parking lot of people standing in line. I'm seeing these people, seeing the front row Joes standing in line and, people checking in and everybody's dressed in, red, white, and blue. It's always, if someone never went to a Trump rally, they were really missing out because you could not look at these people in the heart of America and not feel in your heart the pride of being an American and the pride of, all the promises that President Trump made. Now, there's some people that are upset, in to your previous interview, it's like, where's the Epstein's files? Where's this? Where's that? I will tell you, as far as Tulsi Gabbard goes, I love Tulsi. She's doing what she needs to do right now, and being by her husband's side. Just have to interject that there's some family members that live here locally in Cobb, and I spent time with them last night, and so I'm so thankful that she went into the admin and what she did and what she set up. But when you see over the last 6 years what President Trump could do in bringing people together, we so desperately need that in Georgia. And we'll see, because as I understand, Rick Jackson's going to be here to speak today. And we'll see if he can, I hate to use this word, I hate this word, but to see if he can galvanize people and bring them together. We'll see what happens. There is a lineup. It starts at 1:30. President Trump will be here at 3. We'll see what kind of unity can be brought. I know that Mike Collins was planning on trying to be here. There's some important votes that are going on in the House that, I don't know how quick you can get from DC to Georgia when you're a congressman and you've got to try and be in 2 places at one time. But there is a unity that needs to be done. And that is one thing that President Trump did for this country. Is to bring people together. People accuse him of being divisive, but you can look at the sea of people that are here, and they're here because of President Trump. And he did an amazing thing, and we need more of that in America, and we need more of the people that can do that kind of thing. And to Mallory's point, it's hard to find people that can do that, and it's only by God, I think, that people can be brought together like that.
Well, I think it's settling in now. I think the Jackson victory is now settled in, right? It's settled in. And the Burt Jones, Burt Jones had a lot of support, a lot of grassroots support. He was with Trump on election integrity from day one. And so I think that's now settling in. And to Mallory's point, it's a combination of disappointment, exhaustion, and now I got to be with somebody that basically spent millions of dollars on himself and never helped us with his millions when we were trying to get voter integrity. And I think Mallory's right. I mean, what she speaks here the truth, and that's why the poll numbers are reflective of that in Georgia. I think Mallory nailed it. Right? Where were your millions when you could have done something for us? You only spent your millions when you could do something for you. That's a question you got to ask.
Well,
Guys,
John,
I got to go to a break. Hold that thought. So I want your thought. And then when I get back, I also want to get an update on where are these 30,000 mail-in ballots in a warehouse in Fulton County? Where are we with Carolyn Jeffords' lawsuit? When are these going to be adjudicated? I thought it was coming. I thought that was going to be part of the president's speech. It was not. We'll talk about that. Let's get your thoughts and calls when we get back. 888-480-JOHN. Don't go away. Peach Crew coming up next.
we live on this earth determines our eternal destination, up or down, heaven or hell, and yes, hell is real. God has rules for us to follow in order to be admitted into his heavenly home. Just like the rules you may have for people to enter your home, maybe you do not allow smoking or profane language, God too has rules. There are 10 of them. We are called to obey his rules, not to change them, adapt them, or ignore them. The 10 Commandments guide our entry into eternal life. We must obey his rules in order to enter his heavenly home. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So, what if you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The ingredients studied in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're not as hungry. But listen, Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Get started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to takelean.com and enter the code Godzilla for your discount. That's discount code Godzilla at takelean.com.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking, free. General admission, free. Memories, priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
I am here because Washington needs fighters, and Graham Plattner is the fighter we need. You bet. I said to myself, that's my kind of man.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Inquiring minds want to know. Mallory, my biggest question here with this clip that we play is, like, what did she say to her husband when she got home? Like, this is my kind of man. Like, let's see, he abuses women. He beats women. Let's see, allegedly raped women, allegedly, sexual assaults all over the place, goes on some app called, like, Weirdo app, and preys on people. And then she gets home and the husband's like, okay, like, what am I missing here, babe? Like, what should I, like, go on this app? Do I need to little, like, bat you around a little bit, add a little spice to our life? I mean, every time I see that clip, I'm like,
you bet.
I mean, what do you say to your husband?
I can't see the clip. Shoot.
Oh, you didn't see the clip?
No, I
Oh,
went out. I got dropped for just a second, and then I came back, and that was when the clip was on. What was
I'm
it?
here
play it again.
because Washington needs fighters, and Graham Plattner is the fighter we need. You bet. I said to myself, that's my kind of man.
So I mean, does she have any credibility whatsoever? I mean,
No.
none. Like that alone is like a wash. Like that entire, introduction is an anti-introduction. She has zero credibility. I mean, I just
man.
my kind of man.
I mean, but what is it when you get home from that and what do you say to your husband? Like, that's my kind of man, but you're not. I mean, what do you say?
It's
Oh
a
my God.
circus. It's a circus. It's literally like that scene in Gladiator where Russell Crowe finally steps out and he says, "Are you entertained?" I mean, I think that is what most people feel like when they watch politics, and the news and all of that. It's like, this is a joke. Like, this is fictional fodder. These people cannot be real. This cannot be happening, like, yeah, she's a joke. She is an absolute joke.
It reminds me.
Go ahead.
The whole thing when she did the little commercial or thing, the little vignette with her getting a beer out of a refrigerator and opening the beer is like, what is she doing? I mean, these are not serious people. These are not people that need to be in charge of making our laws.
And then she says, "Honey, you want to be?" And her husband's like, "No."
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make this. And then she puts it on video. No.
I wouldn't want her in charge of driving my lawnmower, much less something in government. I mean, she should have no jurisdiction.
Oh my goodness. It's well, she's been she's been married a couple
tax-paying citizens. Like it's
married a
atrocious.
couple times. But I don't know. Like, I don't get into people's personal lives, but I just like, if that was Ann and like Ann did that, I'd be coming home and be like, okay, what have I missed here for the last 30 years? Like, what have I missed for 30 years? That's your kind of man. Like, what do you need me to do? Is obviously I'm doing something wrong because I'm not like batting you around. It's just mind boggling. And all those allegations were out there when she said that. That's it. Not like she didn't know, right? All of those were out there except the final one, which they planted just before that he could drop out because they were losing in the polls. That's why they planted it. Before we went to the break, Sally, you were about to say something.
So, talking about things, there was a tweet that came out from Greg Bluestein from AJC. Shout out to Greg Bluestein, my friend on the AJC, that said that a newly disclosed filing showed Jackson also gave another $1 million just 5 days before the June runoff when he defeated Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, the endorsed candidate. It says the timing coincided with Jackson's visit with Trump just days before the runoff election. Although the president stood by Jones through the runoff, he quickly endorsed Jackson after his victory and praised him for running a great Trump campaign. So, I don't know. Mallory being representative of the Georgia Freedom Caucus, and trying to get people to run and things like that. The thing that I hate, I mean, Jackson's the nominee and I'll support him 100% and all of that. But when you get so much money tied up in these campaigns and things like this, it squashes the little guy. The little guy who is running for a state house seat, it's $400 to qualify for a state house seat in Georgia, right? So if you have those core America First principles, you want to go to the Georgia State House, represent your community and things like that. And then there's so much money tied up in all of this. And there's still, there's this battle between Jackson and Jones about, well, is Burt Jones going to endorse Jackson? And Burt saying, well, he hasn't contacted me. And Rick Jackson is still suing Burt Jones. There's still a lawsuit. So, if you really want to see reconciliation and unity, let's put the lawsuit aside. Let's just let's just move on. I mean, if you want people to move on and unify, let's dismiss the lawsuit and
Drop
move
the
on and
lawsuit.
unify.
Drop the lawsuit.
Yeah, drop the
Yeah.
lawsuit.
What about this $1 million? Like, did he give it to his own campaign, or where'd it go?
I'm not exactly sure because I just read that this morning, so I'm not
Well,
sure of the details.
where did Bluestein say the $1 million went?
He just said a newly disclosed filing shows Jackson also gave another million to Trump. So I'm assuming that it came from,
Oh, he gave $1 million to
Trump's.
Trump. So he gave $1 million to the Trump PAC.
Correct. That's what I understand.
So before they met, he gives $1 million 5 days before the election. He gives $1 million to the Trump PAC, meets with Trump, just gave him $1 million. Trump sticks with Burt Jones, has to do that. He's been with him for 4 years. Sticks with him. And then minutes after the primary, Trump's like, okay, Jackson's our guy.
Right. Which, of course, what are you going to do? Because he's the Republican running in the race. So you kind of got to do that.
Well, if you're Jackson,
sorry,
before you meet with Trump, you give $1 million to his PAC. If you have the $1 million, it's smart. I mean, it's just smart. It's just smart business. The guy's a business guy, and so he's got the money to give. But doesn't feel good to anybody, right? It doesn't feel good. And to Mallory's point, you're out there trying to raise money. I mean, I just ran a campaign. I raised $45,000 or $45,000, I think, at $200 maximum donation. Divide that out. Most of my donations were $50. I mean, that's a lot of calls you got to make for that. And so somebody just drops in $1 million, like writes a check in 18 seconds. I mean, it's very discouraging. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, when you look at the money that's, as an average Joe, the money that's thrown around in these elections, you marry that with the fact that our voter system is fraudulent, compromised, and all that, you can see how the translation 1 + 1 = inconsequential, which is why people, flirt with, well, I'm not even going to show up. Like, I'm supposed to be electing these people, but $180 million can actually elect somebody. So like, what is the point? Or, $1 million, those numbers do not even land on the average person's brain with any context, right? It's so far outside of the average everyday person who does show up to vote and actually cares.
So let me frame this for you, because I think you're really onto something. You came on hot and it's continuing. So I think here's, audience, what Mallory's saying. You want me to give up 4 successive Saturdays and Sundays of my weekends and go knock on doors in my precinct, right? In the heat, and I got to knock on doors. I got to give up time with my family. I don't get paid. It's a volunteer position. I got to walk list. You want me to knock on doors and for my candidate, and this guy just spent $150 million against my candidate, and he's paying everybody to knock on doors, and I'm supposed to go volunteer, and I don't matter now because he's spending $150 million. I mean, that's your message, and that's where the discouragement comes in, and I think you nailed it, Mallory.
Well, and you compound that, guys, with the fact that in the legislature, which is Republican in Georgia, there is, and the Secretary of State is a Republican, and there is absolutely almost zero appetite for passing hardcore, robust, impactful election integrity bills. And so these Republicans, I mean, the lift, it is literally like, and I'm sure Sally feels this way, people that are fighting for it, and it is the grassroots. It's not the legislators. If the legislators and the elected officials in the executive branch were fighting for election integrity as hard as the grassroots, we would have those bills. Our system would be cleaned up. It would be done. There's no magic to it, but we don't. So therefore, you have grassroots leadership, people full of passion and conviction who understand if we do not have fair and free elections, we have no country. They are carrying the weight. It's like being Atlas and you've got the world on your back. And like I said before, it is the same cast of freedom fighting characters. It rarely changes. And so that you have that added onto it, and there's just no appetite. We don't have real Republicans. When you look at the platform and what it's supposed to stand for, we have people that work for lobbyists. And so here is the circle of what? I'm on air. Do you need me right now? Okay. I'm so sorry. I have a family emergency. I've got to go. I got to go. I'm so sorry.
Care of your daughter. All good.
Yes.
Thank you. Family first.
Family first.
So Sally,
It's you and me, John.
I mean, I agree with everything Mallory said. She came in on fire today. We haven't had her on in a while. You got to get her on every week. But she came in on fire. But let's get to, I got enough time, Sally. Where are these ballots? Where are these 30,000 ballots that we've been trying to get a forensic audit from for now going on 6.5 years? What's the deal?
So, you know, John, that the FBI came in and they imaged the ballots from 2020, and they provided a copy to Fulton County digitally. And as you know, as a state election board member, I've been trying to get a copy of what the DOJ imaged and go back to Fulton County. At every turn, you know, there's a roadblock. You know, one of the simple things that we need on the state election board is actually a staff attorney to be able to help with some of that stuff. Caroline, you know, Jeffords is a dear friend of mine, as you know, and that fight is still going on. That case is still going on. And, you know, when I was on Bannon the other day, it's like, you know, with any questions, you just deflect, you delay, you distract. That's the same old story that's been going on. You know, hopefully we'll get the ballots at some point in time. And Caroline is still in the fight. I talked to her just yesterday. She's still in the fight on it. I'm fighting on the state election board level. The fact of the matter is, John, we have a lot of cases that have never been heard on the state election board that are still under investigation. I talked to a couple of people that have filed complaints just in the last couple of days, you know, to keep on with that. You know, I met week before last, I met with two of the investigators that are actually employed by the Secretary of State's office, but they carry out the investigations for the state election board, even though they're employed by the Secretary of State. So there's just a lot of hoops that we have to jump through, and I'm continuing to fight to bring those things to light. But as you know, there's always someone standing in the way. And to Mallory's point, sometimes you stand there and you look around, and you go, "Who can I trust? Who's really trustworthy?"
When are we going to get these 30,000 ballots that many allege with affidavits? And I didn't do an affidavit, but I'm convinced that they're fake ballots based on everybody I talked to. They're sitting in a warehouse for 6.5 years. Why can't we just do a forensic audit and determine once and for all? Because I thought that was going to be in his speech on Thursday night. Which it was not. He had other things in it, but not that. When are we just going to look at these ballots? I mean, it's a simple thing. Forensic audit. They're on the right paper. Where are the 30,000 envelopes? Oh, they're over there. We've always had them. Okay, how come it's the same squiggly mark? Well, it's a 30,001 coincidence, but, you know, stuff happens. But the ballots are fine, and Republicans are there, and they all agree. Or they were run through a copy machine and they stole the election. And Ossoff say fraudulent senator because Perdue would be seated. When are we going to do that?
You know, John, it's so funny because it sounds so simple. You make it sound so easy, and it should be that easy. It really should be that easy. You know, on the state election board, we have subpoena power. So in my view, things like this should have been subpoenaed a long time ago. Didn't need a vote of the board to subpoena them. So the short answer is I don't know why it wasn't done, but I'm pushing to get that done. But at every turn, Fulton County pushes back. They file, you know, a motion to quash. They file, you know, and it's like, these are the same ballots that you were wanting to destroy. Now you want them back. So you get them back. And then you still won't let people look at them.
Who has the ballots now?
As far as I understand, things have been returned to Fulton County.
So they're back in the warehouse.
I don't know that for 100%, but that's my understanding.
I mean, we don't even know where they are. Where are
Right
the
now,
envelopes?
I honestly do not know where they
Where
are.
are the
I
envelopes?
do not.
We don't even
I
know
do
where the
not know.
envelopes are. We don't know where anything is. I mean, they've
I
stalled
don't.
this thing around, so nobody even knows where the ballots are. We don't know where the envelopes are. And they've stalled this thing for 6.5 years. Why? If they were not fraudulent ballots, they would have let you look at it on the first day, and that would have been the end of it.
Well, it's like I always say, John, if you have nothing to hide, you hide nothing. That's
Right.
pretty simple. If there's not a there, then you just go, yeah, sure. I mean, you continually hear Secretary Raffensperger say it was the most perfect election in the history of Georgia. If it's that perfect, then why don't you just show how perfect show us what a great job you did. Open the doors. We've had this fight over being in the quote unquote bunker to being there on election night reporting for the final tabulation of votes, and we're told, oh well, nothing happens there. Okay, well, let us see the nothing. I mean, it contradicts every bit of common sense that you have in your brain, to not let people in the door, to not let them see the process, to not let them see the ballots. If everything is fine, you go, sure. If a kid says, oh, I cleaned my room, Mom, well, are you sure? Yeah, I cleaned it, but I don't want to let you in my room because I don't want to let you see how clean it is. It just defies logic. And people have not, in my view, we have been deficient. And, that's one of the reasons why I appreciate Burt Jones so much, is he was there from the beginning with the Ligon report in the Senate Judiciary Committee to say, look, we just need to see, just show us, just prove it to us.
7 years
And
ago, you and I were there in December
December of 2020, November and December.
Yeah, we were 6.5 years ago, and this thing still, we have had not one ballot examined. But this is what they do. This is how the cheating, you can't get your arms around it because they'll never give it to you. And we don't know if there's 6,600 ballots of illegals in New Jersey or 66,000. You have no idea. She wasn't transparent. Release the ballots. Where, like Christine Glossner said, how are they registered? By party. Like, somebody had to fill that box in, like the machine didn't. So without party registration, it would have got kicked out. Somebody filled it in.
And here in Georgia, John, we have open primaries. That's one of the things that we were fighting for in House Bill 397 was.
I agree with you 100% on that. Close the primaries, end this nonsense. Just end it. Close the Look, I'm for the runoff. I have no problem with that. Close the primaries. I'm not going to get into ranked choice voting for Republican primaries. We're never going to agree on that. But we can agree, close the primaries. I'm in D.C. We're in a closed primary system. They're trying to do the opposite here, and I'm fighting it because
it's a death knell.
I want Republicans to nominate me or somebody else. I don't want to be nominated by independents who are Democrats are going to vote for the rhino. I mean, that's basically what goes on. That's why they want to open this up, and you guys are right. Let's get to a caller. Leonard in Georgia, you're on with Sally and Mallory Staples.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Sally. Good morning, Mallory. Sally
Good morning.
is a warrior. Good morning. I will go to battle with you. You were there at Jekyll Island, if I was correct. I think you were there.
Hell
anyway,
yeah.
But we've been chasing this mess forever, and we're not getting to the bottom of anything. If they were to ask Sally, let's go to the warehouse, let's find the ballots, and settle it once and for all, let's do it. You remember there was a movie called Stand and Deliver. It was a math teacher who was accused of cheating, and he had to prove it. Prove it. We won the proof, and we got the right people to do it, and Sally's one of them. And the other thing that I was going to say, John and Sally and Mallory, Leonard will not go out and knock on doors anymore. If you're too stupid to know who you're going to vote for in 2026, so be it. Take it. I'm not going to be chased by dogs. People throw stuff at me because bad things happen when that happens.
Well, I think that's what Mallory was saying. Why are you going to go? See, the Democrats are paid. Let's understand what's going on here. The ballot harvesting, the knocking on doors, the getting ballots, the putting them in boxes, ballots in boxes. Democrats are paid for this. Their operatives are paid $25 an hour, $30
Right.
an hour.
Yep.
Our people are volunteers. Why? Because when our consultants get the money, they spend it on TV ads, mailers, because they get 15%, right? So they spend it in media, they spend it on digital ads. They're all getting 15, 20%. You pay the person $15 or $20 an hour to go harvest a ballot, you make no money. Therefore, they don't do it. That's just that's a cold, hard truth. It's not, well, they have all this grassroots enthusiasm. No, they get paid $25, $30 an hour to go harvest your ballot. We pay our people nothing. It's supposed to be volunteers, a grassroots effort. It's baloney.
It's baloney.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, if you took the amount of money, if you took a tenth of the money that will be spent on the Ossoff Collins race, that was spent on the Jones Jackson race, and somebody actually cared who had millions and millions of dollars, and you sank that into the state legislature races in the House and the Senate, and you elected 20 solid, ethical, true conservatives, you would save the state of Georgia for a fraction of the cost. Period.
But no, instead he put his $120 million into his own campaign. And then he gave Trump $1 million in his PAC just before he went there to curry favor, so he'd back him after he beat Burt Jones the next minute. Like, we're not stupid. We get it. I'm not criticizing the $1 million move. He had a right to do that. If I had the money, I'd have done the same thing. I'd have advised him to do it. But the bottom line, that money could have funded 20 House races. We get nothing. They get everything. It's all about him. That's why Leonard ain't going to knock on no doors. And Mallory, you nailed it. You came in on fire today. I want to thank you. You got to be on every week. So,
thank you for having me. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Everything all right with your daughter?
I love you, Mallory.
Love you. Yeah, she's okay. I live on a farm and there was a coyote issue. It was a little scary, but we're good. Thank you, Jesus. We're good.
Bring out the shotguns, baby. Let's go.
That's right. Second Amendment all the way.
Mallory, good to have you. Sally Grubbs, great to have you. Have fun today with the president.
Yeah.
In Georgia, Michael Patrick Leahy next on the John Fredericks Media Network. If we do anything, we truck the truth across America.